where you've got to one thing at a time, right? Like you've got to focus on one thing at a time, whether that's the send receive, whether that's the second hit, whether that is the ultimate volley, right? Like you've got to, if you're Coach Copeland, focus on one thing at a time, focus on 1 point at a time, and ultimately you're going to face off against a West Plains team that does all three of those things really well.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back on the Kevin Ball Auto Body pregame show. We're going to hear from the head coach of the West Plains Grizzlies. That's Patty Figueredo. She is a second-year coach. Her team's 31-5. We'll hear what she has to say coming up next here on the Kevin Ball Auto Body pregame show on KFMO. He's got nothing up there.
I turned it on.
Oh, did you?
I don't know why it turned off. I turned it back on. Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
I think it just does that after a while.
Oh, I guess 10 minutes I'll have to check it again because that's how long it was on for. That's weird.
On the pregame. All right, you can bring it back after this.
I'll go ahead and turn us down.
On the pregame show, we're going to talk it over with Patty Figueredo, the second-year head coach of West Plains. And first of all, Coach, welcome back to Park Hills. And tell us what you're thinking about today's game.
Well, pretty excited about this game. I think we all have been waiting for this time now in a year after facing each other a few times. But this is when it really counts, and we're going to see who's going to show up.
Last night we talked to Coach Copeland. We talked about his team playing Jefferson College 3 times and being scared the third time. Not really scared, but kind of being apprehensive, making sure there's no letdown, that kind of a thing. You're going to be on the flip side of that today. You played Mac a couple of times. You beat them a couple of times. What are you expecting out of them today?
That's why we tell our girls, and, you know, it's all mental, you know, how you're going to face each day. And we just had this talk. It all starts over. It's kind of like we never saw them before. It's kind of hard to separate it when you have played them not too long ago. But we never know who's going to show up. We never know what kind of risks they're going to be taking, so we need to be all in.
Now, he seems to think that if his team plays well, they can beat just about anybody. If they're aggressive, if they play like they're capable of playing. Do you have that same assessment about Mac?
Yes. I feel pretty, you know, of course, feel pretty confident with our team, but we see, you know, the team that he has on the paper. We see what they can do watching them play, and it's not a team that we can relax for sure.
Now we look at your team, 31-5 on the season, so obviously it's been a very good season for you. Tell the folks who haven't seen you in a while, like myself, what's been going on with your club and how do you feel about them at this point?
Well, I think we have grew a lot, you know, during the season. Of course, at the beginning, kind of trying to see what we are capable of doing as a team. And I think we have got to a point where, you know, we know how good we can be. We know the type of offense we can run. You know, we can play with a pretty good speed. We have pretty good pin hitters. We have pretty good middles that can keep the game spread out, not to focus on just one player. So it's going to be a matter of, you know, if we can handle the serve well and, you know, be able to keep the ball up so we can get our hitters in the game.
We see teams that come in with good records that are playing well, things are going well. Is there a level of confidence that is just so high at this point you just expect to win?
Well, you know, we tell our players that they have to practice like they never really won anything. But then when they show up to play, they need to play like they never lost a game. And this is what we expect, for them to show up big and know what they're capable of doing, not wait to see what the other team's going to show. But like I said, it's all, especially being girls playing, we know that the mental part is pretty important, so we'll see.
Give us a couple of keys to today's game for your team. What do you got to do to stop them? What do you got to do in order to have a good game today?
Well, we need to serve well. Of course, serve and serve receive is going to be the main thing for both teams. But, of course, making our middle blockers play the game, making them, you know, keep them alive in the game will be important to us. So we'll see.
Does it make you happy that they went 5 sets last night?
Well, I think it was a exciting game for everyone that were here watching. and we expected that. I mean, we know that when it gets to this point, it's all the same. It's going to be who's going to show up and play the hardest. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not too stressful today.
Now, we talked last night after the game was over. This is a pretty good area for volleyball. The teams that are involved in this tournament right now are some of the best teams around. Throw the records out the door, because there are a number of teams that are in this area right now that could wind up seeing each other further down the line.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we have 2 ranked teams now. And the way the district is set up now, you know, we all go to districts. All 3 teams go to districts, so we have a chance to even have two teams going to nationals. So hopefully that will happen.
All right, Coach. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
That is Patty Figueredo, the head coach of the West Plains Grizzlies. They are 31-5. Very nice lady to talk to before this game started, and I tried to get it out of her and Coach Copeland both. Do you feel like maybe Mac might be tired here today after playing 5 sets? And I think she answered it as well, and kind of indirectly, but she said, hey, you know what? That was a great game last night. They won, and whoever shows up today is going to win. So I don't think they expect fatigue on either side to be a problem for Mac. And West Plains, on the other hand, they look pretty stocked and ready to go.
Yeah, and the good teams and the teams that have the records that they do, they adapt under pressure. And we saw that a little bit last night with Mac able to go 5 sets against Jefferson. But it's also another thing when you're facing off against a team that, again, the Jefferson record doesn't reflect how well they played this season. But in West Plains, a team that's only lost 5 times all year, you know, they've had their share of 3-set, 4-set, 5-set victories. Both teams have, for that matter. And so you always adapt under these circumstances, and both teams, I'm sure, will be adapting here with tip-off in just a few minutes.
Well, you know, this is a district, an area, rather, that we're going to see not only teams like West Plains, and we're going to see teams like Mac involved, but talking to some folks after the game last night, they were saying, you know, don't be surprised if Jefferson comes out of their district on top, even though they only won 7 games this year, because they've played a lot of really tough teams. They've played some great opponents, and they're a good volleyball team. Their record is not indicative of how good they are and can be. So don't be surprised if you see Jefferson again down the line, because they may come out of their district as the number 1 team in that district overall. And, you know, we could see a couple of these teams, as Coach Figueredo said, wind up in the Nationals as well. We're about down to 3 minutes before this game starts. We're going to take another timeout, close out the Kevin Ball Auto Body pregame show. When we come back, we're going to get ready for your starting lineups. And after that, we'll get your opening tip. And we should have volleyball action coming your way here from Mineral Area College. It is a Mineral Area College noon start. That's only about 6 minutes away. And you've got it right here on AM 1240 KFMO. All right. Bianca Salvador.
So you think the Mac starters will be the same as last night?
Pretty close. He just gave Chad the starters a minute ago.
Okay. I assume 16 will be starting. Gilardi.
Yeah, you would think so. The Gilardi is going to start. Pozzo is probably going to start. Ferrafino and Dembariski will start. It'll remain to see. Is it Saxton? I didn't see last night.
I believe Saxton got
where
the start.
Giovanna Mai was last night. She didn't play at all.
I don't think she played at all. I think it's Saxton, because I think she got the first 3 points. Maybe.
It just depends on what he's thinking.
Yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
see.
I've seen him start Saxton, play her for a few minutes, have a good start, and not see her the rest of the night.
And Penuel got the start last night,
Yeah,
too.
Penuel will start as the libero. So.
Okay.
All right, we're trying to get starters here and get things ready to roll. We should be ready to go here in just a bit. I will give you a cue because when we do the national anthem and all that stuff, we'll have to stop talking. All right, play this commercial and one more. And then if there's a prelude, play that. If not, go straight to the billboard. This commercial, prelude, billboard. Go ahead and play another commercial. One more. All right, thank you. Bring it back after this. All right. You can bring it back.
It's time now to meet our teams. First of all, for the 12th ranked West Plains Grizzlies, number 3, Bianca Salvador. Number 5, Isabella Cassier.
We are back here at the Mineral Area College Gymnasium, otherwise known as the Bob, as we're hearing the starting lineup start off. First for the West Plains Grizzlies, and then for the Mineral Area College Lady Cardinals. The Cardinals come into this game at 19-7, having beaten Jefferson last night in a 5-set thriller. West Plains comes in at 31-5, and we're going to start off with the West Plains starting lineup, and with that is Jolie Palermo.
Yeah, so the starters for the West Plains Grizzlies, the 1 seed heading into this one, it'll be number 3, the freshman Bianca Salvador, freshman Isabella Cali. She's also the libero today for the West Plains Grizzlies. Mariana Franco, the freshman. Caitlin Allshire, the sophomore. Also sophomore Victoria Jakubik. She's from Poland, as well as Gibson Beckler, the sophomore. And Violetta Bakvarova, the freshman, gets the start here today for the West Plains Grizzlies.
All right, Mineral Area College just now dropping the lights down, although it doesn't get as dark in here during the daytime as it did last night, but they always play the video just before we get started, and we see several of the players come out and get ready for this, and we're going to hear their starting lineups coming up here in just a matter of moments. But right now we're looking at a Mineral Area College team that's beat up a little bit. Last night we saw Duda Pasos play quite a bit lshe was beat up. She hurt her hand, dislocated a finger not too long ago, and not only did she dislocate the finger, but the finger actually, the bone came out of the finger, and so that was a pretty drastic injury, kind of thing that you might think anybody else will be done for the year. Maybe a basketball player would call it quits, but Duda said no, she's going to play again. She played last night. We've noticed that her hand's bandaged up a little bit more today, And because it's bandaged up a little bit more, that we may keep an eye on her today as well. We did not see Cheyenne Tonjum last night. She did not play. She is in the lineup, or she's in the dressed out today, which I don't think she was last night. But we're going to see quite a few of the same folks that started last night's game for Mineral Area as they get ready to start this one here this afternoon. So we're just about ready for starting the game. And I tell you what, last night, big player of the game was Laura Gallardi. She was unbelievable last night. 19 kills for Mac. She had, I think, right off the top of my head, 3 aces in the game as well, including the game winner. And she had 4 blocks, or 5 blocks actually, as I look back at last night's stats. And of those 5 blocks, they all came at an absolute best time for this Mineral Area College Lady Cardinals team.
Yeah, you talk about putting in yeoman's work. I think we saw that from Laura Gallardi in last night's game. I mean, think about where that team was at, and I'll recall that on the match points that Mac had to save, Gallardi was a big factor behind that. She used those returns, those digs, as well as getting a couple of volleys over the net as well to really boost Mac's momentum when it looked like all hope might have been lost during those match points. And instead, Gallardi proved to be a big factor in this one. But it takes a team effort, Glenn, to win every game, especially around this time of the year.
Well, you know, the only person that played probably better than her last night, or maybe as good, was Mahu Fernandez from the Jefferson College Lady Vikings. So they were pretty much a team last night that depended on Fernandez. Mac depended upon Gallardi. It's going to take much more of that from Mac from other players. You got the starting lineup now for Mac.
Yes, the starting lineup is out for the Lady Cardinals. You have Dambariski getting the start, the freshman, as is Ferrafino getting the start. Olivia Shaw gets the start after a good game last night. She's also a freshman, as is Duda Paso. She gets the start here today. Ava Penule acts as the libero. She'll be rotating in and out of this one. We saw her do a lot of that last night. Amaya Saxton gets the start. She had the first few points during the game against Jefferson, and Laura Gallardi gets the start. And that's the starters for the Mineral Area Lady Cardinals as Penule actually checks out for Olivia Shaw.
All right, we get ready for this game to get started. And we're going to tell you, as far as those of you watching or listening on the radio side, you've got West Plains in their blue jerseys with white letters, red trim, and black shorts for Mac. They've got their white jerseys, the old Flat River Junior College jerseys. We love those. Red lettering and blue trim. And the first serve by Gallardi is up and over. Make that 5. Dambariski is up and over, and into the net is Mac. And the first point of the game goes to West Plains.
I think they were saying a bit of a close fist, 4 hits, whatever you want to call it, and West Plains getting off to an early start, and now the first serve for the Grizzlies is upcoming.
Tim Copeland looking for an explanation, and he's asking the official on the other side about something West Plains might have done in violation, but it's 1-0 West Plains, and to serve is Caitlin Alshire. She'll get it up and over. Ferrafino will set it up. Now Gallardi will have to save it as Ferrafino tries to knock it over. It hits the net, and it goes down. 2 points now for West Plains. They're up 2-0.
Saw that a couple times last night from Ferrafino, just a little tap over the net on the second set. And that time didn't really fake it, just tried to set it over. That might have been blocked anyway, even if it was served. Now 2-0.
Alshire's serve is received by Mack. Now Ferrafino will tip it, and over is Saxton, but it's hit right back across the net. Now just getting it across the net is Mack. Here comes West Plains back the other side. Set up by Ferrafino. It comes over to Duda Pasos. It is off the block and out of bounds. Point for Mac. Their first point of the game. It's 2-1. West Plains on top with Mac serving.
Well, Pasos, it feels like, has tape on all 10 of her fingers, it looks like. But one thing's for sure, she can sure power it down and gets the first kill of the match.
Looks like a lineman in football. You see them tape their hands up in the game because a lot of times those fingers get bent backwards and things in football games. That's what she's looking like today. Aurelia Diaz is checking in for Pasos. She'll serve. Her serve is up and over on a line drive, and West Plains will return it, but return it out of bounds. Point to Mac. We are tied at 2. First tie of our first set.
So a lot of times in the first set, first quarter, whatever sport, whatever situation you want to be in, the first set's really about feeling out the defense. And I think we're seeing that from both teams here in this one. That time Salvador tried to thread the needle. Mac was all over it.
Diaz with the serve, a line drive. West Plains returns it, blocked at the net by Saxton. It'll be picked up by West Plains and played again. Second shot is up and over into the referee, out of bounds, and that'll be a point for West Plains. They maintain the lead, so no lead change. 3-2 West Plains on top.
Yeah, it looked like that was Salvador that time on the kill as well, and getting that off, and really no shot from Mack. Is that another one of those cross-court volleys? Something we saw a lot of between Jefferson, more so a diagonal volley.
Here's the serve. It's fielded by Mack, brought across to Gallardi. Gallardi puts it on the ground. She did a lot of that last night. We're tied at 3, second tie of the game. 3-3, Mack and West Plains in the early going of this first set here at Mineral Area College. Joey Palermo, Glenn Berry, back in the offices of KFMO is J.C. Allen. She's running the radio side. Of course, we're on Mineral Area College Athletics video on YouTube. And we're ready for Ava Pinuel to serve. Line drive serve is up and over. It's off the back and out of bounds. And that point will stay with Mack in the first lead change of the game. They're up 4-3.
So Ava Penuel, who served very well yesterday in the win, gets the first ace of the match. She's somebody that'll be rotated every now and again from Coach Copeland, whether that's as the libero trying to act as that returner and get those digs, or in this situation, becoming a server.
Line drive serve is up and over this time. West Plains will return it, but they returned it too long. Out of bounds, and Mack has another point. It's 5-3, and Ava Pinuel, who was the server in last night's game, in which Mack was down to their last point. They lose one more point, they lose the game. They scored the next 7 points and won. She was the one that did all that serving. Another line drive serve, up and over. It's returned, this time by West Plains, and the kill looks like Bianca Salvador on that one.
Yeah, so something that we're seeing early on from West Plains is feeding Bianca Salvador. They trust the freshman in this spot, and they've trusted their team all season long. And Salvador, who now serves here, has been impressive here in these first few points.
We saw Abigail Kennedy last night. I'm still kind of marveling about her game for Jefferson. She looked like a mild-mannered player down the front line. You just kind of thought, well, this might not be her best place, and she was just vicious in the second, third, and fourth sets, and even in the fifth set as well. Here's the Mack ladies trying to return it. They finally do return the serve, and nobody talks to anybody, and the ball falls on the West Plains side. Mack point, 6-4.
And Gallardi's going to take the kill, and I'm sure she'll be smiling in doing that, but rare miscommunication from West Plains. After the first hit, just nobody communicated on the second hit. Ball just drops to the court.
You don't see that on a West Plains team like that. That ball just went up in the air, and everybody ran from it. Here's Gallardi with the serve. It's fielded there. Now is it going to be returned? It will be returned. Mack and Gallardi will put it back up. They set it up to Ferrafino. Ferrafino gets it off to Dambariski. He'll drop it over the top, and West Plains will try to bring it back. They bring it back to Gallardi. Now back to Ferrafino. They'll get it to Dambariski. She's too long, and point for West Plains. It's 6-5.
Oh, signaling, they're signaling Mack point here, Glenn.
Oh, wow. And I saw, well, here's what I saw. I saw the referees make a call of some sort. And after they made the call, they pointed to the West Plains side, and I thought they were giving them the point, but instead they were saying that was the infraction on West Plains. So point for Mack, 7-4 now. Here's West Plains, a little trouble with returning the serve. The ball's into the net. It falls, it drops. It is a Mack point, 8-4, and right now West Plains looks a little discombobulated, and Patty Figueiredo wants a timeout. Timeout West Plains. Mack leads it 8-4 early in the first set. You're listening to Mineral Area College Volleyball on AM 1240 KFMO.
I think they're saying that last one was blocked by Shaw, if you
Oh,
want
was
to give her that one. Yeah, because they're saying it was touched because Mack was saying that it was just 4 hits, but they're saying it was touched, so I'll give Shaw the block.
Yeah, when they first, you're going to give Shaw the block? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff you can talk about. I mean, when we come back, you can explain what that call was, kind of lay it out, color-wise. And some of the things that happen at the net, if they're not exactly, if there's a violation there and we're not sure what it is, it's okay. But if it is, that's all good.
Well, what's interesting about the one that they went to West Plains and back to Mack about,
bring it back after this.
They called it as the third hit was given, which means that the infraction was before the third hit, which probably impacted the Mack shot.
Right.
You just throw it to me whenever, and I'll talk a little bit about that.
Back here at the Bob at Mineral Area College, and we had an interesting play there just a few moments ago. 8-4, Mack is on top. Mack got a point. And Joe, you were talking about the infraction may have actually occurred before Mack even did anything. Here's the serve from Gallardi. It's up and over. We'll hang on to that one in a minute. Nice dig by Pinuel. Diving to the floor. Now they'll set it back up for West Plains. And they're going to say it's out of bounds on the return. Mac Point, it's 9-4. Now that call we couldn't figure out because it looked as though they were giving the point to West Plains. But you said it probably occurred before that.
Yeah, the whistle was on right as the third hit was given from Mac, so the infraction must have occurred from West Plains prior to that. But on the previous hit, the one that was right before the timeout, you can see that the Mac Cardinals were saying that was 4 hits, that it had never gotten over the net. But instead, the referees played on, and they say that Shaw got the block, so we're going to give it to her, and that led to the timeout.
All right, we're back to action, and West Plains and Mac in a nice volley right now. Diving, it's Laura Gallardi giving it to Ferrafino, back to Dambariski. Dambariski, a little push over the top. 2 players collide on the West Plains side. They push it back over, and it's fielded there by Eva Pinuel. Now to Dambariski. He'll go cross court. Is it in? Yes, it is. Far side judge, look for the corner judge. Ball was just inside the line, and Mac has got a 6-point lead at 10-4.
Yeah, and it's been by inches. This run has gone on for. These have been right by the line, some of these, and 4 hits, the miscommunication, everything has kind of led to Mac having a really, really long run this first set.
6 points right now is their run on this one. Nice little play at the net that time. That was Olivia Shaw putting the ball down on the floor. The ball goes across on the serve. It was returned by West Plains, barely up over the net, and Shaw did her best basketball leap, jumped up there and got the rebound and put it on the floor.
Yeah, and we saw that a couple times from both teams, from Mac and Jefferson. Their second hit, if it's hit to them and they see that the front is open right near the net, they're going to take advantage of it. And Shaw in particular was a benefactor, had a few blocks in the wind because of that.
It's 11-4 now. Mac on top, their biggest lead of the early game so far. Here's the serve by Gallardi, returned by West Plains. It's knocked into the net and blocked by Dambariski. And right now, Mac is hitting on all cylinders. They've got an 8-point lead on West Plains at 12-4.
And you said it, it's been on all cylinders. It's been all players right now in that starting lineup. It feels like each one of them are contributing in this run.
Here's Gallardi, a soft serve over the top. It is fielded there by West Plains. They come to the line. They try to hit it into the back court. Gallardi mishits it out of bounds, and that breaks that little run, gives the point to West Plains. But that was a run that went 7-0 right there for Mac, and that is a big 7-0 run. Now, what does West Plains do? Can they answer? Isabel Cali will serve. She'll get it up and over. Dambariski will set it up. They give it right back to her, and she puts it on the ground. Gabrielle Dambariski with her first kill of the day, and it's 13-5.
And that was really well done, and you can credit the set there by Ferrafino. Set up Dambariski perfectly and able to time her jump and just serve that one right into the court.
We heard last night Tim Copeland say that he thought Dambariski didn't play as well as she has in the past. Well, today she's doing a little making up for that. Here's the serve by Dambariski, blocked at the net as West Plains tries to get it back over. Now they dump it to Ferrafino, who gets caught by surprise. It hit her on the backside. She was trying to turn around, and the ball will go down and hit the floor, and that will be, I guess, number 9, Caitlin Alshire with the kill.
Yeah, just dumped it over that time. Alshire goes 6'1", one of the tallest girls on this West Plains team.
They've got some tall ones out there right now. Victoria Antia is out there. She's a 5'11 freshman, but she is not much smaller than Alshire, as you said, listed at 6'1". Here's the West Plains serve. It's up and over. A little bit of a miss hit, but Pasos will get it up over the top. Now you got a return from West Plains set up. Back to Pasos. She hits it off the block. Out of bounds. Point for Mac, 14-6.
And Pasos serves it so hard sometimes that you almost have to prepare for the block in that situation, especially with the prowess of West Plains, able to block those off. And that time, the block didn't need to do anything on that one. That was right near the antenna by the time the block was touched.
Now we've got a timeout real quick by the official wanting a different ball, and they'll get a different ball, get it to Olivia Shaw, who will serve here in just a moment. Shaw is into the game. Saxton just checked back into the ball game. So you've got Saxton, Pasos, and Ferrafino on the front line right now for Mac. Here's a serve that goes over, returned by West Plains. Brings it back. Pasos is going for the kill. She got it. Duda Pasos. Another kill for her. And right now, this MAC team is running on all cylinders.
And it's been one person after another that's just felt like they've had their flame's been hotter with each time. That time it's Pasos getting the last 2 kills.
15-6 MAC. Here comes West Plains. Spike from the opposite side goes down. That's Victoria Antia, her first kill of the day, and it's 15-7 West Plains to serve.
And it felt like that was one of the first points in this first set where West Plains looked crisp that time. The set receive was good, the set was good, and Antia gets on the board with her first kill.
Here's the serve from West Plains. It's set and received by Mack. They'll give it back to Pasos. She'll try to put it down. Now Saxon tries to get it across the line. She almost had herself another kill, and now a high leaping jump in the air by Bianca Salvador. It's blocked at the net, but back on the Mack side. And another point for West Plains, 15-8. Bianca Salvador, she's showing some leaping ability big time. And, of course, she comes in at 5'8" as well. Here's Ferrafino. She'll turn around, try to put it down. Duda Pasos comes in and kills it. Both sides were celebrating, obviously. The West Plains side thought it was out of bounds, but the officials said no. 16-8 MAC.
Those last few kills for Pasos, they were some angry kills that time. Puts a lot of force into every single one, but that time, the accuracy from Pasos, so impressive here early on.
It feels like sometimes she has to control that a little bit because she can get into it a little bit too much and really fire some long spikes out there. Here's a return at the net, a 50-50 ball, won by West Plains. Now Pasos will get in, almost into the net, but she stays away. West Plains brings it back. They'll spike it, put it down on the ground. It's going to be another kill, and I believe it's going to be Salvador.
Yeah, Bianca Salvador getting the start here. The freshman having 4 kills early on. Very powerful, is putting it in the right spot. And West Plains, you know, they've had that one run, but aside from that, been hanging around 16-9.
16-9 is your score. Salvador from Caia do Sol, Brazil. Here's a long serve. Service error. Out of bounds. And that was on number 9. That is Caitlin Alshire, her first service error, point for Max, 17-9.
Yeah, first service error for both teams that time. It was a line drive, and almost tough to play that because it looks initially like it was going to be right at the chest of one of the MAC players, but able to let that thing go out. And now here comes MAC with another opportunity, and Morelia Diaz getting the serve.
Diaz will serve from the near side of the court. She gets a line drive up and over. Salvador brings it back. Blocked at the net by Mack, but they can't get it up and over, and it falls to the floor. Point comes to West Plains, 17-10. Mack still leads by 7. Serving for the West Plains Grizzlies is Franco, who's just checked into the game. Here comes Gallardi with a spike and a kill, and it is out of bounds. Point for Mac once again, and Gallardi picking up where she left off. She's got 3 kills here in this one.
Yeah, and really, that block was so high off the fingers and fingertips. That thing was almost into the second level over there at the Bob Sechrist Gymnasium. That was really, really well done by Gilardi, and she's quietly had a few good kills in this one.
I tell you what, as hard as this ball is being hit by both sides, they may have to go get a couple of extra balls. These things might be lopsided by the end of the game. Here's the serve by Diaz. It's up and over. Here comes the return by West Plains, blocked by Olivia Shaw. And Shaw with a big block produces another point for Mac, 19-10.
She's been stepping up really all season long in the blocking department. And that time, Olivia Shaw, in order to be a blocker, you need to have a good instinct. And that time, Shaw recognizes that, puts it over the net.
Here's Ava Pinuel to serve. Her first serve is up and over. West Plains is returning it. Nice little block at the net by Mack, but it's tipped and out of bounds. It'll belong to West Plains, so only one serve for Pinuel. 1 point for West Plains. It's 19-11.
And slowly, Bianca Salvador has turned into kind of the story for West Plains in this first set. She's now got 6 of the 11 points so far in this one.
Going back to serve for West Plains is the aforementioned Bianca Salvador. Her line drive serve leaves a 50-50 ball up there, and Victoria Jakovic will put it down on the ground. First time we've heard from her. And it's a 19-12 Mac lead. Lead cut down to 7. Mac has led throughout this game, especially after a 7-0 run when it was 6-4. Here's the next serve. Comes over the net. It's put back up again, and the same result. as Gabrielle Dambariski can just get it back up and over the net. And I think Copeland wants to talk about with his players just a little bit, but no timeout. He's just out there talking to them a little bit about what they need to do. You see him get up so many times during the game and walk to the court. Sometimes he just kind of looks at them and they say what they know he's thinking, and he sits right back down. 19-13, West Plains a little bit of a run here. Yeah, this time Dambariski will get it up in the air. They'll get it back to her. She'll put it over the net. West Plains comes back the other way. They'll get it up over the net. Here's Ferrafino setting it up for Shaw. She goes in for the kill. It's blocked at the net, and West Plains will play it. Here comes another shot at the net, and the point is blocked by Mack. That will go to Mack. Shaw will pick up the block, and that is her third block of this first set. Mack leads by 7, 20-13.
It actually looked like they called 4 hits that time on West Plains beforehand. As they say, it never really got touched. But either way, Mack now in that proverbial red zone in this first set.
Here's Laura Gallardi, her first serve of this set, or her first serve of this time. And it's hit. Is it long? Yes, it is. It's out and long, and Gallardi, with her first serve, picks up her first point, or picks up another point.
And
21-13.
Jakovic saying that ball hit the line, and now a timeout called by Coach Figueredo.
All right, Figueredo wants to call a timeout and talk it over. We'll take a timeout. We're back with more. 21-13 first set. Mack on top of West Plains. You're listening to college volleyball on KFMO. Well, there's not much going on today at all.
No.
Army and Air Force, Duke and Miami.
Oh, you're talking about college football?
Yeah, anybody. Anything.
Anything.
Well, Penn State, Ohio State.
Yeah. Ohio State should win that. Just my take on that.
All right, you can bring it back after this.
Want to earn a transfer degree or need training to jumpstart your career? Mineral Area College is the place for you. MAC offers affordable tuition, dedicated instructors, vibrant campus life, and flexible classes, on campus and online. When you're at MAC, you can find a future. You can find a community. You can even find yourself. Apply online at mineralarea.edu.
Back here at the Bob, and right now Mack is playing just about as good a game as we've seen them play all year long. First set up 21-13. And Laura Gallardi, who had a very good game last night, 19 kills in that win over Jeffco, will serve. Her line drive serve is up and over and flipped backwards. That is an ace. And Laura Gallardi picking up again where she left off last night, 22-13 Mack.
Yeah, first ace for Gallardi in this one. As you mentioned in the pregame show, Glenn, she had that winning ace to defeat Jefferson after being down match point in that fourth set. And now Gallardi trying to win that first set from Mack with her ace prowess.
22-13 Gallardi. She'll throw it up to serve. And a service error. You could kind of tell that was coming when she released the ball, because a lot of times getting that ball up in the air to a certain point, getting to the apex, is what you want to do. And that ball kind of was out in front of her, and she had to reach for it just a bit. 22-14 West Plains with the serve. Here is the serve returned by Mack, and Ferrafino with a great job just getting it over. She kind of hit a touch pass over the top, and now it's returned on the Mack side. Ferrafino will get it over to Dambariski. Dambariski puts it down on the ground. I got her down for 2 kills. You got any more than 2? 3. All right, we'll go with 3. Sounds good. 23-14. Mack on top. I said in the pregame, if Mack were to win this, it might be a 5-set win, because I figured that West Plains was that good. If Mack keeps playing this way, it may not be a 5-set win. You would expect West Plains to have some sort of an answer in the second set if they don't come back big time here in this first one. Here's Dambariski to serve. She has it up and over. They return it. West Plains does. Ball is on the ground. That is going to be a kill, and I believe that's going to be number 21, Bakvarova. There we go.
Well, and to your point, Glenn, about that first set, let's not forget that Mac won that first set pretty impressively over Jefferson last night. It was like 25-15, 25-14, something like that. Well, we saw what happened last night.
And this is a West Plains team that can answer back no matter what. So here is the return by Mack, given back to West Plains, and a slam to the floor. And West Plains has got 16. That one goes down, and I believe they're going to give that one to Antia. We'll credit her with the kill. Is that what you got?
I got Alshire on that one.
Okay, let's give it to Alshire.
It looked like she was the benefactor of a good set that time from West Plains, who's trying to rally quickly here in the first set.
Bakhvatarova is going to serve once again. She's had 2 serves clear the net, score points for West Plains. Here's the setup to Duda Passos. Her kill is blocked at the net. Back to Passos. She'll jump up in the air, hit it up over the net, but it's blocked, but West Plains will play it. Here's a little ticky pass over the top by West Plains, returned by Mack, and they do it again to a spot in the floor where Ava Pinuel was moving toward, but she couldn't quite get there. And Mack wants a timeout. It's 23-17, and West Plains is making a comeback. We'll come back after this.
Net taking advantage and not letting that ball play them, so to speak. But it's also been their send receive off of some powerful Max serves has been good as well.
And the serve from Bakhvatarova is up and over. Mack will have a little bit of a congregation at the line. Ball blocked, knocked out of bounds, almost came to me, and Mack has the point, 24-17. Set number 1 point right here. And want to get a new ball again. That one just a little bit got into the stands, and they want to clean it off. Olivia Shaw will serve. This is set number 1 point. Here we go. Up and over. Line drive. Goes up to the net. West Plains comes down. And the spike is down, and the kill by Victoria Antia.
And another crisp bump set spike from West Plains. That's been the case. They've done a good job in kind of adapting after that slow start. And now serving. Got to avoid 6 set points here.
Here's 24-18 is the score. Max still at set point. Here comes Duda Paso. She'll get a hard spike over the net. It's blocked there by West Plains. Ball is cross court from Bianca Salvador, and it is just inside the line, and it's 24-19.
And win or lose, Salvador has kind of been the MVP of West Plains here in this first set. Now has 7 kills.
Antia serves. Line drive, a little short one. Comes over the net to Ferrafino, to Amaya Saxton, who will put it on the floor, and that is set number 1. Mack wins set 1, 25-19. Back for set 2, coming up next on AM 1240 KFMO.
An approach to teaching and learning that connects the traditional classroom to the real world at Central Methodist University. Now you can learn the way you live and the way you'll work with the new Digital U, available only on the campus of CMU.
Banking with people like you. Unico Bank. We put you first in everything we do. Large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. We're your local hometown bank, your friends and neighbors too. Banking with people like you. Unico Bank.
At Belgrade State Bank, we're proud to support our local students. For over a century, we've been more than just a bank. We're part of the community. By investing in our youth, we help build a brighter future, from the classroom to the field. We're here to support our students every step of the way. Belgrade State Bank, proud supporters of our local schools and the next generation. A wise place to do business.
My name's Nick Vargo. I'm the lead service advisor in the Pettis Ford Service Department. We are owned and operated by 2 different families. We treat you guys like a family. You're not just a number on the board to us. You're actually a family member when you come in and get great service. And that's what we strive for, is to create a family environment in the dealership.
Community is everything to us.
Guys, if you want a family-owned and operated dealership that does strive for excellence, we'll get you taken care of.
Come to Pettis Automotive, where we treat you like family.
St. Louis's favorite pizza has always
against Jefferson. You could tell for Mac that switch kind of flipped on a little bit. Maybe it was on already, but if there was a second switch of like an extremely on button, we saw that there for Mac, and it's really been that way in that 4th set last night, in the 5th set last night, and they had to work hard to get to that 17 points in extra time. And now it really feels like in that first set as well, you can tell they're crisp, they're talking a lot, they're adapting to the strategies that Coach Copeland brings them, and it's been the entire team that's been a big factor here through one set.
And West Plains will serve to start this one, and they'll have Antia pick up where she left off in the last set. She will serve. A line drive is up and over. And here's Ferrafino setting up Dudapasso. She'll hit it lit deep. It's out of bounds, almost into the cameras of Mineral Area College. But another kill for Dudapasso. That's 4 for her. 1-0 Mac.
When the block is so hard that it hits the second level and goes out into the rails, that means you got a pretty good serve on you. And Dudapasso, she another one for the Lady Cardinals that's on today. She's got 6 kills.
Yeah, I tell you what, if the block is so hard it almost hits your athletic director, you got trouble. Here is West Plains returning the serve. It's up. Gallardi gets a hand on it, keeps it in play. And now Diaz, she came to the line to try to hit it. And I think she just kind of lost her balance just a bit and hit it into the net, so we're tied up at 1-1.
Might have been a little off on the angle that time, just trying to set it over the net. Wasn't a crisp one from Mac that time, and Diaz put her hands over her mouth like, oh my gosh, did I just do that?
1-1. Sometimes they'll do that, and you'll be like, are you kidding me? Here's a serve by West Plains. It's up over the net. This time, Dambariski will get it over the net for Mac. He'll return it to West Plains. They'll bring it right side, get it up to Bianca Salvador. Guess what she does? Puts it on the ground for another kill. Right now, West Plains up 2-1.
And you can almost kind of tell when somebody's got as many kills as they have early on. You look at the form that they have, and the jump is good. The cockback of the arm is good as well. It's ready. It delivers the power that time, and Bianca Salvador has been just on her game so far.
Here's a serve by West Plains. It's returned by Mac. They set it up to the left side, and Bianca Salvador goes deep, but Ava Pinuel is there. Now to Ferrafino, or make that, yes, Ferrafino. She'll serve it up. Mac gets it over. Now back to Salvador. She'll try to just dink it down, and Mac was waiting for the hard shot, and they just couldn't come back with it, so Salvador picks up another kill, and it's a 3-1 West Plains lead.
I mean, you almost kind of wonder how much of a benefactor she's been, not only in the season for West Plains, Salvador, but in that last game as well against Mac. She's on her game and now on the verge of double digits here early on.
Serving is Caitlin Alshar. The ball is served up at a 50-50 at the net, and West Plains again. A little bit of a lost moment on the court. They turn around and look. Nobody's there, and the ball falls to the floor. And Shaw will pick up the kill on that one.
Yeah, and when the donut is so big, you can't have the donut big enough to where all 6 people are just looking at you saying, that was your ball.
Now a return from Ferrafino. She gets it up and over. Now setting it up in the front court is West Plains. Did a great job that time by Franco. to just dump it over the net into the hole, as you talked about. The donut got a little big on Mack that time, and the ball's down 4-2. West Plains leads this one.
The person that always holds the most important power for volleyball, in my opinion, is the setter, because they had the opportunity to set up those killers, and also on that occasion, if the opportunity is right, which it was on that occasion, have that setter dump.
Mariano Franco is the server. She serves it. Mack returns it. West Plains will set it up. They get it right side. Trying to keep it alive, but can't, is Mineral Area. And I believe that is going to go to Bakvarova on the other side. Is that who you got?
Yeah, it's Bakvarova, but since Mack hit it twice, it's not considered a kill on that occasion, but still a good, powerful kill from Bakvarova. She's been impressive early on, has a couple kills.
Well, Bakvarova put it down in a spot where Mack couldn't get to it. They did everything they could to get to it, but not able to. Here's Ferrafino setting up at the net. Coming in is Mack with a 50-50 ball that's controlled by West Plains. Now bit back over the top, and now we got Bianca Salvador hitting the ball down, and a hard spike by Gallardi, but it's held on to by West Plains. And now a right side kill that time by Jakovic. She puts it on the ground, and she slaps the floor as she's laying there. 6-2, West Plains leads.
Yeah, I'd say West Plains has adapted after the first set. They've done a really good job. They're fired up. They're aggressive near the net, and this time it's Jakovic going in there and getting the kill.
Well, they've been doing a good job since early, going back to that second set. Now a little dink over the top by Mack, picked up there by West Plains. Back the other way they come. It's blocked at the line. I did not catch the truck that blocked that one, but Mack will pick up the point. It's 6-3.
I don't even know that it was touched. I think that ball might have just been in the net that time, but either way, Salvador, you can tell that's a powerful serve. You can kind of hear it from the rafters here at this Bob Seacrest Fieldhouse.
Speaking of a good serve, here's Laura Gallardi. Line drive over the side. Salvador will return it. Now she'll come up to try to dink it over the net. It's a 50-50 ball controlled by West Plains, and they're going to say West Plains committed a violation, so the point goes to Mack, 6-4.
And it might have been on Jakovic. She was kind of nodding her head almost in agreement after that last violation. Just a little too far out towards Mack's side. Gets the point to Mack.
6-4, Mack staying with us, even though that West Plains has played really well early in this second set. Here's a line drive by Gallardi. It's picked up over there. Now Salvador blocked at the net. It hits the top of the net, comes back to West Plains, and it's knocked out of bounds on the opposite side. That is another Mack point. It's 6-5.
Yeah, I'm a bit frustrated as Salvador after that last one, almost questioning why they even got it all over the net. Might have thought it was going out for a second that time, but here comes Mack on, is it a 3-0 run right now?
Salvador serving all three of those points so far. She's got the fourth serve up and over. Here on the other side, West Plains dinks it down. A dive by Ferrafino keeps it alive. Then Dambariski will get it up and over. Here's West Plains setting it on the right side. It's to Salvador, and another kill for Bianca Salvador. I got her down for 10. It's 7-5 West Plains.
It feels like she's had really all 10 of those kills have just been so impressive here early on. Feels like she's got all 7 points, right?
Yeah, it feels like it. Checking into the game now for West Plains is Bakvarova. Serving for West Plains is Salvador. She'll hit the line drive over. It's fielded there by Dambariski. Bring it up on that give and go kind of a play right at the front of the net, and Dambariski puts it on the ground. 7-6. Mack trails by 1.
And Dambariski showing her vertical that time. Didn't even hardly need to be touched by Shaw to just set that one up beautifully for Dambariski that time. And well, now Mack is adapting, and now Dambariski will have a shot to tie it.
Savannah Cohen will check into the game for the first time. Setting down is Bakvarova as Dambariski. It's kind of like baseball. You make a great play, you get to serve next. For baseball, you make a great play, you get to bat. Here's Dambariski's serve. It's up and over. West Plains will return it. Ferrafino sets it up for Dudapasos. Somebody has committed a violation.
They're saying it's Cohen, I believe, on the violation that time. She's wondering how that exactly happened. She's looking over at Coach Figueiredo saying, what did I do?
Yeah, they're all asking questions. So did Figueiredo. Either way, it's Mack's point. We're tied at 7. First tie of the game after 1-1. Here's the serve up and over. West Plains digs it out. Now puts it across the net.
Somebody else is in the net.
Looked like
They're
that
going
was
to say
Shaw.
Shaw committed a violation, so that point goes back to West Plains.
And that time Shaw's questioning, like, what did I do? Looked at her own number, like, are you sure that was my number?
Yeah. They're not sure, but obviously the officials have seen a couple of things here in the last 2 points right at the net, some violations. And a serve from West Plains. Ball is up in the air. Ferrafino back to Shaw. Shaw gets it up. It's blocked, but it hits the ground. And we're tied again at 8-8. And Olivia Shaw playing another big game today. We talked about her in the pregame show. And according to Tim Copeland, he was kind of worried she might be a little on the sore side today, having recovered from an injury. But he said she was in great shape this morning. She serves it again. It comes back to West Plains. And in, just barely in on the inside. And that one is going to be number 9. We'll give that up to Caitlin Alshire. Boy, that barely hit inside that corner, but that sanction official right there could see every minute of it.
Well, it's almost like for a football punter has their version of the corner, call it the coffin corner over there as a punter. You almost got to have your version of a coffin corner in volleyball that time, and that time Alshire found it.
9-8 the score. West Plains is on top. Here comes the serve. This time it's by Bacharova. It's set up for Duda Passos, and Passos sends it right back to where it came to Bacharova, who could not return that one. Another kill for Duda Passos. It's 9-9.
That was hit so hard. Bacharova didn't even have time to clench her hands ready to go for the serve. She just kind of underhanded it, like almost clapped the volleyball.
It's
that was illegal
like,
anyway.
Yeah, she almost wanted to just catch it because it was like, I'm not going to return this. I know it. Ferrafino will serve. She has it. It's up and over. Returned by West Plains. They get a spike into the net. It hits Gallardi, and it rolls right down to her feet. So the point back to West Plains, 10-9. These teams slugging it out here right now. That kill going to go to number... Who'd you get the kill on that
13,
one?
13? Antia getting that one.
Okay, Antia with her third kill. Here's the serve. It's up and over. Ferrafino sets it up for Amaya Saxton, her second kill of the game. We're tied up again, 10-10.
Well, we've got to credit the setter Ferrafino. Yes, we're talking about the prowess and how hard that Mac is serving those volleyballs, but why is that? Well, the setter's done a great job, and most of the time it's been Ferrafino in on those sets.
And I love the way that she plays at the net, because sometimes she looks like she's setting it up and she'll just dink it over the top, put it on the ground. Diaz is in for Mac to serve. And a service error. That ball sometimes, when we see it from our angle, almost looks like a knuckleball that just kind of gets caught in the wind or something, because you see it knuckling and it just keeps going. That one way out of bounds. A service error, 11-10 now for West Plains. They gave the point to Mac, but it's 11-10 West Plains. And they said, hey, anything you can do, we can do better. Service error there as well, 11-11.
Looked like Alshire got the service error that time. It looks like Coach Figueredo is confirming the score along with us. You had to double check yourself, didn't you?
They had Mac up 11-10 when it was actually West Plains up 11-10. And then they've committed the service error, so now it's 11-11. We're tied again. Here's a block at the net, barely played by West Plains, and they get it up and over. And they're going to say that shot was out, and the point goes to Mac, 12-11. We have our first lead change of the game, and wow, I thought that one just hit inside, but both officials conferred on it and said it was out. Point goes to Mac.
They're saying that was just a hair out that time, and Salvador went to the far side official, and it was the near side one that overruled.
Here is a shot that's blocked at the net by Mac, so they'll play it. They set it up in front, and a spike down on the ground by Laura Gallardi, and Gallardi is back to her old stuff again. Mac is up 13-11.
It almost feels like when chaos reigns as we get a timeout from Coach Figueredo there.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll give you some more. 13-11, Mac on top. They're upsets 1-0 over West Plains. And you're listening to Mac Volleyball on KFMO. Give in, Bows. Everybody text me what I'm doing.
I need a lunch recommendation from you when
Want to earn a transfer degree or need training to jumpstart your career? Mineral Area College is the place for you. MAC offers affordable tuition, dedicated instructors, vibrant campus life, and flexible classes, on campus and online. When you're at MAC, you can find a future. You can find a community. You can even find yourself. Apply online at mineralarea.edu.
Till 9:35 last night.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a late night for both of us. I went to Arby's on a late night. I don't know how smart that was. I haven't been to Hub's Pub yet.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you recommend from there?
That's good. Oh, they got burgers and fries, and then they got steaks and seafood and wings. Wings are good.
Do they have to go?
Yeah.
Okay, I might do that.
All right, bring it back after this.
Well, speaking of.
Avery Pinuel, as we come back, serves it up over the net. It's West Plains returning it, putting it on the ground is Victoria Jakovic. She'll pick up the kill, and West Plains is pulled within one at 13-12. Second set, Mac leads 1-0. West Plains serving. Ferrafino will set it up. Far side for Dambariski. It's blocked at the net, but she'll play it anyway. Here comes Ferrafino back to Shaw, and Shaw cannot get it up over the net. We're tied at 13, our seventh tie of this second set. We had only two in the first one.
Yeah, and Shaw, you can tell, was a little bit slow to kind of pick herself back up. We talked about the soreness. Maybe that factored into the last serve.
You got to wonder, as long as this game would go, does Mac get a little tired after playing 5 sets last night? Here's a hard serve at the net. It's blocked by West Plains, but they're going to call a double hit. They're going to give it back to Mac the point, 14-13.
I think they're saying it might have been a close fist that time, but even so, it's a Mac lead, and we've seen a few of those, Glenn, have happened during the set, whether that's been the second or the third hit. They've been called in both teams' favor.
Here's Laura Gallardi to serve. She'll have a line drive over the net. It's fielded there by West Plains. Back the other way. Little dink over the net that time by Jakovic. And quite frankly, she set that one up with all those hard spikes that she's hit before. This time, just a little dink over the top, and it hit the floor. 14-14, tied again.
I mean, it also helps when you're 6'3" and have as much power as Jakovic does that time. Your instinct is to try to block her and in the back row, and that time, this little three-finger touch over the net gives a tie game again.
Speaking of power, Bianca Salvador will serve. She puts it up over the net. Here's Dambariski with a hard line drive, and Isabel Cali cannot do anything with it. Mac goes back up 15-14.
Yeah, absolutely nothing you can do that time if you're the libero Cali that time. Just all you can do is just kind of set and hope that it hits more of the fingers and upward instead of what happened there, which is Cali just hits the fingers and just drop down.
15-14, Gabrielle Dambariski, the freshman. That's good news for Mac right there, the fact that she's just a freshman. Here is a serve by Dambariski. It's up, it's over. Here's a long drive by Jakovic again. It's down on the ground. That's 5 kills for her, and the 6'3" sophomore from Poland has tied this up at 15.
Yeah, it's played really well, really, in this game. Only a kill or two in that first set, but feels like with every point, the confidence grows for Jakovic and this West Plains team, who lost somewhat convincingly in that first set.
Callie will serve. She gets it up and over. Ferrafino sets it up for Diaz. It's blocked at the net. Callie will play it. Now Ava Pinuel comes in. They'll just dump it over to the other side, and Gallardi gets it over there. West Plains to return it. It's blocked into the net by Mac, and they'll set it up once again. A little dink over the top. It is played there by Duna Pasos, who will go cross court. Ball coming towards the West Plains bench, but it'll go back center court. Hit long and right inside the line on a great volley and a lead change. Our second one of the game. This time West Plains takes the lead at 16-15.
And you know who that was Salvador getting the kill from not the front row, but not the back row either. Still able to find the back row of Mac and just hit that corner.
I was getting ready to say Salvador was the one that dominated in the first set for West Plains, and it seems like Jakovic has been dominating here. Now Mac returning to serve, a 50-50 ball knocked down by Mineral Area, and they're going to call up over the top. And they're saying that the violation is on West Plains, so we're tied at 16 apiece. That is not setting well with head coach Patty Figueiredo.
Wanting an explanation, not only Coach Figueredo, but also Bianca Salvador as well. A couple times we've seen the argument between her and the far side official about some different calls, and now tied at 16. Got to get your head back in it because this is playing up. This is an important set. Every point counts here.
And to serve is Olivia Shaw. Her line drive serve is up and over. It's fielded there by West Plains. Now West Plains returns it. Shaw will set it up for Duda Pasos, who tries to dink it over. It's returned barely by West Plains. Now Pasos with a long, hard drive. It's down on the ground. Her 6th kill, and the lead is 17-16. Third lead change. Mac is on top now. 17-16.
Something in warm-ups that Mac was doing was practicing those diagonal volleys, and they did a good job in warm-ups, and Pasos, who's one of them, gets involved there.
Here is a swing and a miss by Caitlin Alshire, and that almost looked like a planned play, but somebody didn't come up and do anything with it. It's 18-16 Mac, and that was a weird play as the ball just fell, and she swung and missed at it, and it hit the floor.
I think it might, whether that was Salvador or Alshire, one of them lost their footing there.
Here comes the next one. It's up and over, and the return is hit and blocked out of bounds. Stays inbounds just inside the line, 19-16. That one is number 6, Bella Ferrafino.
Yeah, it looked like her and Maya Saxton on the block, and either way, it's one of their first ones. I know that Misha has to where they offer multiple people a block on the same point, so could give it to both of them if you want.
Here is a serve that is returned by West Plains. Nice job by Shaw just to defend her own self and get it back up over the top. Now here's West Plains trying to return it. Shaw will set it up for Ferrafino. He'll send it back to Duda Pasos. It's blocked at the net over there by number 23.
I got 21 back
21. I can't see her other number. No, I got 13 now. 21.
The numbers are all over the place.
Yeah. It's hard to read the numbers when you have a long, flowing locks of hair over those numbers.
I will say there's no 14-16 for what that's worth for West Plains. I know that was a problem last night for Jefferson.
Yeah. Bachfalova will serve. She gets it up and over. 19-17. Mac is on top. They lead 1-0. Here's a block at the net, but Mac returns it. Ferrafino hits it up and over. Now sending it back is Callie, the libero for West Plains. Here comes Amaya Saxton. She tried to push it. It went too far out. She also kind of got her hands underneath it, carried it a little bit, 19-18.
Yeah, and the second set was a little bit low, and Saxton just essentially kind of had to push it up a little bit, and I think she might have the communication and maybe the second set forced that hand of Saxton, who just desperately tried to push it in the corner just a little bit wide.
We've seen that a couple of times here, getting close to doing that as well, and that time it just didn't work out for her. 19-18, Mac is still on top by 1. They lead 1-0. Here's a line drive serve by West Plains. They get it back to Saxton. She is blocked at the net. Ferrafino will kick it up and over. Now they set it up for West Plains. They put it down on the ground off of Ava Pino. And that will be number 9, Caitlin Alshire with a kill. We're tied up at 19. That is our 12th tie of this second set. Only 2 in the first.
Wow, 12 ties in one set. That's pretty impressive. But it goes to show the competitiveness and how good both teams have been in this second set. Just been back and forth all game long.
West Plains up and making some noise. Here's a 50-50 ball control by West Plains, and it hits the floor on their side. Both, I believe, Ferrafino, I think Giraldi was there as well. Gallardi, rather, was there as well. 2 West Plains players were there. It was kind of a jump ball that just got caught up in, and it fell on the West Plains side out of bounds, 2019 Mac. Ferrafino will serve for Mineral Area. Again, wearing their Flat River Junior College white uniforms. Black trim, red letters, with some black trim around those letters. Here's a line drive serve. It's a 50-50 ball, and it's knocked over on the wrong side, and a violation on West Plains, 21-19.
Yeah, it looked like the far side official saying 2 hits that time, and now Coach Figueredo wants another timeout.
We take a timeout with you. Mac up 1-0. They lead in the second set, 21-19 over West Plains. It's Mac Volleyball on KFMO. You can bring it back here. Back here at Mineral Area College, 21-19 is our score. Mac is on top. Couple of Mac alumnus making some headway in this world today. For those of you that don't know, and Roy Hinson reminds me of that here just a minute ago. For those of you that don't know, Malevi Leons made his NBA debut last night for Oklahoma City against Portland. He had 1 point, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. So Leons is in the NBA. And some of you don't know about the drive time guy. We'll tell you about him coming up in just a bit. But right now we're back to volleyball action. Ball hit long by West Plains on the return. It's out of bounds, 22-19. Mac is on top. The drive time guy, do you know that guy was from Mac?
Tell me about him, Glenn.
Sean Roundtree is his name. He's in drive time commercials. African-American man, and he comes out and says a few things. He's a former MAC basketball player as well, and he's been doing a lot of acting here and showing up on TV. So a couple of MAC graduates doing pretty well. Here's a block at the net off of Saxton, and it'll be on the ground. MAC ball, or MAC point, 23-19. And coming out of that timeout, MAC has scored 3 in a row.
Yeah, and that time it was just players that were going past half court, and far side officials saying that, giving Mac another point. And Coach Figueredo wanting a bit of an explanation that time. You heard anything different, Glenn?
23-19 is the explanation right now that she gets. The near side official trying to explain to her what exactly was going on. The serve is long, and it's down on the ground, knocked out of bounds, and an ace for Dambariski. Or make that Ferrafino. We see her do that last night. First 3 points of the game, I think she had 2 aces. And then the 4th point, she had a 3rd ace. And she has a chance at set point here, 24-19, to put Mac up by 2 sets.
So now Coach Figueredo will go a little bit taller, bringing Gibson Beckler to stop the back row and set point now for Mac.
Beckler checks into the ball game. Sitting down is Bachfarova. Here's the serve by Ferrafino up. It is played back there by Kelly. They'll get it back across the line. It's tipped off of Ferrafino, knocked out of bounds. Dambariski says, don't worry about it. That stops a 5-0 run. It's 24-20 now. West Plains to serve.
And Tia getting that last one has had a good game so far, and much like the first set, will try to save for the second set.
She will serve. It's up and it's over. Mac will set it up. Ferrafino gets it over to Gallardi. Gallardi hits it down, but it's saved there by West Plains, and then spiked to the floor by Bianca Salvador. She's got 12 kills, 24-21. That looked like a Mac point all the way.
It certainly did, but you'll recall in that first set, it was to the point where Coach Copeland had to call a timeout after a 3-4-0 run. And this time, West Plains now 2 points saved. We'll see if after the third one they call a timeout.
And looks like another ace, this time by Antia. And that's a 24-22 Mac lead. Still at set point. The girls get together at kind of the free throw line of the basketball court to talk it over. Set this thing up, and Mac wants a timeout. So Tim Copeland calls a timeout. Let's keep it right here for this timeout as we look and kind of set the stage for you. It's 24-22, second set. Mac's already won the first set, 25-19. So what do you got to do if you're Mac to get that final point to win this second set?
The hardest point to get is the last one for any volleyball game. And on this occasion, you know, West Plains doesn't want to be down 2-0 in a situation in the Region 16 championship. So, you know, Antia's, going to do her best, serve it over the net. So it's your job as Mac to have a clean send receive and have the second hit. We'll see if Ferrafino comes out of the timeout and has that set opportunity. And then I'm looking at Duna Pasos. I mean, she's had 8 kills in this one. Really hasn't felt like she's missed a couple times in this one. I would say set it up for either Pasos, maybe even a set or dump. We haven't seen too many of those from Ferrafino in this one. Maybe have that be an option. But just a clean send receive is sometimes all that needs to be done for a team to have confidence. Remember, you only need 1 point, but if you don't get in the next couple, it's going to be extra points, something that Mac was a little familiar with last night.
I think so, and that's something I don't think there's pressure on them right now, but I think they're thinking we need to win this puppy now because you don't want to see it go 24-21 to 23, because then it starts to put a little pressure on Mack. Here is a setup for Saxton. She will spike it. She will win the second set, and that is the end of that one, 25-22.
Hey, you know what happened on that one, Glenn? Exactly what it was, a clean send receive. They set it up to Ferrafino, and this time it goes to Amaya Saxton. A clean send receive, a clean set, and a clean spike gives Mack the second set.
All right, Mack's got 2 sets so far. Can they get the third one? Can they get this West Plains team down in 3? We'll see. It's coming up next, 25-19, 25-22. Set number 3 is next on AM 1240 KFMO.
Is there a Jimmy John's near here? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is there?
You know where Menards is?
Yeah.
It's right across from there.
Really?
Yeah. So if you go to that little weird Hobby Lobby exit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's kind of a half an exit. And you go around and like you're going to Menards. When you get to that stoplight, if you look to your right, Menards is there, Colton's is there, and you look to your left, there's a Jimmy John's.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to go there.
There'll be a Wendy's in about a month.
Really? Is it that close?
It's pretty close.
Wow. That's
Chick-fil-A is not too far off either.
Yeah, when are they opening that?
I don't know.
I thought it was going to be last month, but I mean, I think it's the parking. Like they're trying to get that all finished and whatever. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they just wait until the new year.
Yeah. All right, you can bring them back after this.
Well, there's a bit of a delay actually in the bleachers.
Uh-oh. What were they doing? Are they looking for something, or
I think so.
Yeah, bring it back. Back here at Mineral Area College, it is the Bob from Max campus and a sparse crowd here this afternoon. I think a lot of times in these tournament games like this, especially a tournament that this is not do or die, as we talked about last night, but it's a tournament where you're going to see some good volleyball, but beautiful day, a lot of folks out doing a lot of things the weekend after Halloween, that kind of stuff, and we just haven't seen the big crowds here yet, but man, when we get closer to the do or die time, we're probably going to see this place packed.
Oh, this gym's going to be packed in just about a couple weeks. But also, Glenn, there's a lot of events that are demanding people's attention to go out. I mean, we've got a pretty big day in store for football in a few hours. So a lot of people might be on their way to St. Pius for volleyball as well, and Potosi and maybe Bismarck to watch their teams play some important state games.
Yep, there'll be a lot of folks doing that. We'll be covering 2 of those 3 games and getting you updates from the third one. Cape Notre Dame, St. Louis at Potosi starts at 3 o'clock on KFMO Sports Plus. If you've never listened there, it's very easy to get to. You can do it on your smartphone. Go to KFMOsports.com, click on the plus, and then let it run through your Bluetooth on your radio as you drive, and you can listen to that game. That's Cape Notre Dame at Potosi at 3. Farmington at St. Pius at 3 o'clock. That'll be on the regular radio, AM 1240 KFMO. Or if you're going to be out of the area, get the KFMO app, and you can listen to that game anywhere. We have MAC volleyball and basketball players, moms and dads, as the first point goes down for West Plains on the spike. And I think that's going to go to...
Looks like Salvador.
Is it Salvador again?
Yeah,
okay.
13 kills I've got her down for.
That's what I got, 1-0 West Plains. But again, we've got people listening to us in Australia, people have listened to us in Brazil, all over the country, all over the world, and all on that KFMO app, and it's free in your Android or Apple store. Here's another kill for Duda Pasos. She said, you can kill one, I'll kill one. We're tied at 1.
Always feels like that she's starting every set with the mentality of I'm going to be the first one to get the point. I feel like it's been that way for Pasos as well, as she's been the recipient of those first few kills in those first few points for MAC each set.
Diaz is going to serve for Mac. She'll get it up and over. Line drive, fielded there by Kelly. It's set up by West Plains. A block at the net by Saxton. Nice job by Amaya Saxton. Also in on that block as well was, I think, Gallardi. And it's 2-1 Mac.
Yeah, they clapped it all up between Saxton and Gallardi after that. Almost felt like a team effort. It felt like both girls had a hand on that one.
You got Dambariski, Gallardi, and Saxton on that front line, and a line drive serve by Diaz. It's up and over, and a spike goes down, a kill for Victoria Jakovic, and it's 2-2. Second tie of the game.
Well, it almost seems like, and I know last time that West Plains and Mac played, it went to straight sets, but you almost have to kind of feel that West Plains is not going to take this line down. They're going to have a number of opportunities in this one to crawl back.
I'll tell you what, from the game I saw last time, Mac against West Plains here at Mac looks like a totally different team here today. Here's Gallardi. She'll come in with a hard spike. It's blocked off the side, out of bounds, and Mac back up 3-2. That first game, West Plains dominated from the get-go. In fact, Mac only made a run in that third set to make it close at the end, but never could get caught up. The rest of the time, West Plains had their way with them. Tonight, Mac just seems to get the points when they need them. Here's a long line drive service error by Eva Pinuel, which you don't see very often. We're tied at 3, our third tie of the game.
Well, and going back to the first game and now, it's the beauty about volleyball. She plays so many games in a short amount of time, and during that time, it increases the chemistry for both teams. We've seen that from West Plains all season long, but over the course of time you've seen it, Glenn, Mac's chemistry has really improved as well.
And they're playing much better than they played last night as the serve is up and over. Here's Dambariski. She'll get it up over the net. It's returned now by West Plains. They set it up, blocked at the net. Callie will save it and put it back up in the air. Here's a decoy, but West Plains gets it back over the top. It's Gallardi. She comes in with a hard kill. It is received by West Plains and caught, knocked out of bounds on the ground, while Mac is saying that the West Plains player was in the net, but no dice, and West Plains takes a second lead here. It's 4-3, second lead change of the game.
A couple different players were in on that block that time. Not sure which one touched it, but either way, it's been Antia early on with a couple of huge points. West Plains, it would behoove them to be in the lead for most of this third set.
Caitlin Alshire barking out some instructions at the net, and now Diaz just gets it up and over after the serve was almost knocked out of bounds, and we saw it again where Caitlin Alshire goes up to swing like she is a decoy, and nobody comes in to help her.
Well, they replaced that time Salvador with Bakvarova on the decoy, and that time it just feels like they're just a bit late. Not Bakvarova's trying to clean up for a wet spot, but I just feel like that timing is off on that play.
Mac waiting to serve it. It'll be Gallardi to serve as they take the towel to the far side. Yeah, she just goes up in the air, and you think, all right, she's going for the kill, and then she swings as though she's the decoy, and like you said, timing's not there. 4-4. We've had 4 ties at 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here's a deep serve. Callie will get it back towards the net. Mac almost lets it hit the ground, but they'll get it back up and over. Here is a free ball back to West Plains, set up and put down on the ground by number 13, Victoria Antia.
3 straight kills now for Antia, and each one of them more impressive than the last. That time, cross-court volley sees the left side a little bit vacant, and now gives West Plains the lead. The freshman showing up here in this one.
5-4, West Plains on top. Third lead change of the game. Mac has one of them. Here's a ball on the ground. It's West Plains' point after a block at the net, and they just couldn't get it back up. 6-4, West Plains.
Yeah, far side official saying a lift that time, and with every point, Olivia Shaw maybe got her hands on her knees a little bit. We talked about the soreness in the beginning, maybe starting to feel it here in this, was it 8th set under the last 24 hours.
Here's Ferrafino setting it up. Diaz can just pick it up and put it over. Here comes West Plains back the other way. Saved by Gallardi. Diaz will track it down, get it back to the center, and Shaw will get it up and over. Now they play it to the front. A little dink over the net, picked up there by Mac. They'll get it back this time to Dambariski. Dambariski's blocked at the net. She'll get another shot. She gets it up over into the deep side of West Plains, and a long spike down the left side line into the corner, and the point for West Plains, 7-4.
It looked like Caitlin Alshire getting the kill that time and going cross court again. West Plains on a bit of a run, and This is a team, again, Region 16 tournament. No, their season's on the line, but they're one to get straight sets to win this one, much as they did last time, except a little bit of the inverse, of course.
Here's a line drive serve, sit over by Antia. West Plains trying to scramble to set this one up. It's blocked, it's off, it's right to Joey. It's out of bounds off of Mack. Point goes to Mack, and I think we got a timeout on the court from Tim Copeland and the Mineral Area College Lady Cardinals. They lead 2-0, but right now they trail in the third set, 8-4, West Plains on top. It's Mac Volleyball on KFMO. Hey, JC, can you tell me, do we have a lot of ads left, or are we just playing through the log again?
I got away with putting a glass container right near the front of the action. Not going to do that again.
Okay. You can bring it back after this. Back here at Mineral Area College, Mack is up 2-0, but West Plains making their move. They're up 8-4 here in the third set. They get on a roll. They're hard to catch, and that's why I think Tim Copeland wanted to stop that momentum a bit, see if he can get his girls back into this one, only down 4. West Plains will serve. This is Victoria Antia. She gets it up and over, and it's an ace. Victoria Antiva with a serve a little bit too hard to get to. Mack got the return, but it was hit kind of into the corner, and Ferrafino did her best but couldn't get to it.
So coming out of the timeout, Mack is putting 2 in the front, and it's Ferrafino and Shaw, and they're both in the same corner, and that time they exit left to right in the corner, and a service ace by Antia is going to end that run.
Service error stops that run by Antia, and that's probably something Mack needed just to stop the bleeding there. That run was a 6-0 run, and we've seen a couple of big runs here today. A 7-0 by Mack in the first set, a 6-0 here in the third set, but it's only a 4-point lead at 9-5. West Plains on top. Serving is Dambariski, up and over. West Plains will return it. Ava Pinuel will play it in the backcourt, get it over to Duda Paso. She'll send it deep. Kali will play it for West Plains. She'll get it back to the other side. And another kill for Bianca Salvador on the ground. It's 10-5, West Plains.
14 kills now for Salvador, has been the hero and has kept the team in it in both sets. And on that occasion, a good bump set spike leads to her 14th kill, and 10 points now for West Plains in this third set.
10-5. 10-5 West Plains on top. Here's the serve from the West Plains side. It's up and over. Played there by Ferrafino. She'll set it up, but it's blocked at the net. Give the credit on that one to Salvador. And it's 11-5.
The 5'8" freshman out jumping the 6'3" sophomore. Jakovic just said, all right, Salvador's flying my way. Just going to let her have that one. And Salvador puts it where it needed to be.
I'll tell you what, we've seen Shaw jump up like that. We saw last night the little girl, Abigail Kennedy, who had some leaping ability. As here's Duda Pasos putting it down, but it's blocked by number 10, Victoria Jakovic. And right now, West Plains is on a big-time roll, 12-5. What do you do here? Do you just go, okay, they might have this set already. Well, let's just take it easy and try to get through it and then come back and win that fourth set?
I don't think Coach Copeland's taking it easy right now. He's got his starters in just sitting on the bench wondering when is the run going to end. It might be there after that service error.
Yep, service error does kill it, but the lead is cut in half, so to speak, 12-6. Still a 6-point lead for the West Plains Grizzlies. Glad we don't have to call them Missouri State University at West Plains.
Yes, yes.
That would take a while.
Yes, it would.
Here's the serve by Olivia Shaw. It's up and over. Knocked back on the West Plains side. Drops it down. And West Plains scores again, 13-6.
Mariana Franco that time using a setter dump behind her head, almost as if a little basket dump over her head that time, and confused the Mac ladies, who again have 2 in the front. At this time it's Saxton and Ferrafino.
13-6, West Plains on top. Line drive, that is inbounds. just inside the line. Mac said they thought it was going to go out of bounds, but it stayed in the line. So an ace for the West Plains number 8, Mariano Franco. And it's a 14-6 win. Now, what I mean by that, do you take it easy? You don't necessarily lay down and quit, but you don't get yourself into a lot of pressure and overplay and overextend yourself at 14-6. You just try to do what you can to get back into it. Here's Ferrafino setting up Duna Pasos, blocked off the front, out of bounds, Mac point, and Mac needed that big time. It's 14-7.
Yeah, it's almost impossible in the game of volleyball to do such thing as take it easy. It's always intense competition for 5 sets. But I think with Mac, it's always about winning that next point. And for both teams, West Plains, again, fighting to keep this game alive, doing a great job of sharing momentum here.
Ferrafino will go back to serve at 14-7. She puts it up. It's over. Callie, the libero for the other side, plays it. Sends it over to the opposite side. And on the ground, it is Bianca Salvador. She has played a heck of a game here today. I got her for 15 kills.
Yeah, 15 for Bianca Salvador. And that one goes cross court, finds the far corner as she's on the near side. Very, very impressive from Salvador, watching the freshman grow each game.
You know, listening on the radio, you may not be able to tell where the ball is sometimes, but that just kind of reminded me of something that Michael Jordan would do, hang in the air and just find a place to put it. Here's a block at the net by Duna Pasos. It's down on the ground, and Mac has a point at 15-8. What a block by Pasos.
Pasos getting in on the blocking fund. I don't think had any blocks in the win last night, but still able to get that block, use the timing, which is key for a blocker, and Pasos on the board. Maybe we'll see if that breaks the run.
And, you know, the other thing about it is she's got that hand bandaged up, and that probably takes more out of it to block than just about anything. Here is a long serve. It goes deep in the court for West Plains. They try to get it over. Saxton blocks it, but there's nobody there to help her out. Going to give that point to, or it's going to be West Plains point, but who got the kill?
That was Victoria Antilla, who's put together a very good third set.
That ball was blocked at the net by Saxton. It went straight up in the air, and she got out of the way, and there was nobody to help her out. Now Mac with the return of the serve. This time, Dambariski gets it up and over. Here's West Plains setting it up. A nice little block again by Sexton as West Plains will play it again. Blocked at the net by Sexton along with Gallardi. Now a shot down into the deep corner, fielded there by Diaz, given back to Dambariski. She puts it down, but it's out of bounds, or are they going to call it inbounds?
Yep, they say it just got the line that time. Dambariski doing a good job of going cross court again. Again, they talked about that in warm-ups. Coach Copeland and those Mac Cardinals able to use those cross courts going near side to far side. And Dambariski, who is also very much involved in those warm-ups, takes advantage there and gets the kill.
16-9 is the score, and Tim Copeland wanted a confirmation of that score. There have been a couple of times the score is flipped and then flipped back, and he wanted to make sure that the right score is up. 16-9 is the score, 7-point lead. West Plains with a shot over the net. Ava Pinuel dives after it. She can't do it. It goes back to West Plains. 17-9 there on top.
Sometimes the service hits so hard there's not much you can do, and that time Mac was running around, diving on the court, trying to do their best to keep that point alive. But just a really good serve that time from West Plains. Even when they were losing those first 2 sets, Glenn did a great job of using those send receives. They've had a few aces here tonight.
Bachfederova is going to go back to serve again. Her team up 17-9. First time we've seen West Plains dominate in this game. Came off of a 6-0 run, and they've pretty much stayed there since. Here's the serve. It's up. Ferrafino gets it across. Nice kill by Gallardi. We haven't heard her name in a little while. That time she put it down on the ground at 17-10.
That volleyball is still in the second story, Glenn.
That one went up in the, I think it's the ladies' bathroom over there just about. Or did it go behind the second set of bleachers?
It's behind the pole near the far entrance.
So Gallardi, who just spiked that one for another kill, will serve. She'll serve it up and over. Fielded there by Callie. She'll set it up. A little dink over the top by West Plains, and Mac will play it. They give it back to Dambariski. She'll put the kill on, but it'll be blocked at the net, and then blocked again by Dambariski. And Mac will get the point on the second block of the day for Gabrielle Dambariski.
And that time, all communication on Mac was about getting two girls up there. Dambariski got the block, yes, but Olivia Shaw was right next to her, ready to get those blocks.
You know what I love about this team? The fact that they're playing as well as they are right now, but you got Ferrafino and Dambariski, both freshmen here, so they're going to be here a little while. And then that time, Ferrafino got the block, but it went out of bounds. And so 18-11 is our score as West Plains picks up the point.
Boy, and Tia's racking the kills up in this third set. She's now up to 8. Feels like 7 of them come this set.
18-11. West Plains leads. Mac leads 2-0. West Plains trying to make the comeback, and this time it's Dambariski. She thought maybe that somebody tipped it up front, but she acknowledges a little bit too far out of bounds, and the point goes to West Plains. They're up 19-11 now.
I'm not sure if it was more about the tip. I think it was more about you need to be here. Maybe threw off her timing a little bit on that last point.
Here's the serve. It's up and over, played by Eva Pinuel. Ferrafino tried to get that little dink over the top with it, and she grabbed it and it just threw it into the net. And so the point goes to West Plains. It's 20-11.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times from Ferrafino. Try to use the setter dump. That was a tough play there, running towards the line and trying to just dump it over and rotate her arm a little bit too far out.
Long serve gets into the backcourt. Here comes Shaw. She goes up for the kill. It is blocked at the net by West Plains. Now Mack trying to come back. A little dink over the top by number 3, Salvador. That's 16 for her.
Yeah.
21-11, 10-point lead for West Plains in this third set. Looks like we're headed to the fourth.
Yeah, you talk about racking up kills in this one. It feels like Bianca Salvador has remained consistent here through 3 sets.
Well, if you're Mac, you just can't worry about this third set if it didn't work. And now Gabrielle Dambariski puts it down on the ground. And they're asking for a call over here.
They're saying that Dambariski was on that half-court line when West Plains served it. Coach Figueiredo is wanting an explanation. That was very impressive from Dambariski. She served that thing over the net as she was falling out towards the near side, left-handed as well.
That was the thing I was watching. It was the left hand. And they're asking the main judge over there. I don't know if she saw it or not. She's going to make the ruling on it, and he'll come back and talk it over with Figueiredo. But the near side judge said he didn't see it, and the far side judge said she didn't see it. And at 21-11, they want to rotate in another player. That will be Duda Pasos as Diaz is trying to get the officials' attention. It's 21-12. And I think if it was 21-22 or 22-21, there might have been a longer argument on that. But they said, you know what? We're up 21-12. Let's just win this one. Here's the serve by Dambariski for Mack. It's over across. West Plains gets it into the net. Mack finally gets it over as Shaw just volleys it up and over. It's over back in the corner. A nice little push kill. That time, I believe, is going to be Mariano Franco, who came up close and put it over, was it?
Looked like, actually, they're congratulating Allshire. The old 8 for 9 conundrum there. But
you know, it's one of those things where everybody congratulates everybody. So if you can't see the number, when they start high-fiving each other, you're just like, pick and choose.
Yeah.
Allshire will come up to serve. Line drive serve is over the top, fielded there by Pinuel. Now they get it back. Shaw will try to put it down, but it's fielded by West Plains. Back the other way comes Salvador. It's blocked at the net. She's hollering for somebody over the line, but the official said she didn't see it that way. And Mack has the point, 22-13.
That's correct. That would be Olivia Shaw's 4th block already in this one. Had 5 in the win last night.
Here's a line drive service there that's out of bounds. Mack did not need that, 23-13.
Immediately after that, Shaw gets subbed out for Penuel. Maybe to get a bit of a rest before the seemingly impending 4th set.
West Plains will serve. Mariana Franco gets it up and over, and Amaya Saxton puts it down on the ground. Saxton with her kill. I think I got her down for 4. It's 23-14.
And something that we'll see here in the 4th set and beyond is Amaya Saxton's availability. Remember, she was a key factor in that 5th set, if you recall. Had a few kills against Jefferson that ultimately proved to be the difference. We'll see how she is going forward.
She's got a little bit of a bandage on her left pinky. Here's a line drive serve that hits the top of the net. And Ferrafino's like, well, I'm living good today. As it hits the top of the net, falls for an ace. It's 23-15.
It's not ideal to have a serve take the tape as hard as it did, but I'm sure if you're an ace in Ferrafino and you see that thing graze the net and then fall in the donut, you'll take that every time.
Exactly, and she'll try to do something somewhat similar here. She jumps up in the air and hits it hard. It goes over the middle and deep, fielded there by West Plains. Now a long spike by number 10, Jakubik, goes out of bounds. It's 23-16. Does Mac have a big run in their system for this one?
Well, let's not forget, Glenn, that the last couple nights, some of the longest runs we've seen Mac have been when Ferrafino is serving.
Ferrafino stands underneath the basket of the basketball goal, of the basketball floor here, as they set it up now. Nice dig that time by Ava Pinuel. She'll keep it in play as Pasos tries to get it over. She has it tipped at the net, and finally it's put down by Salvador. That'll be number 17, 24-16. It's set point for West Plains.
At this point, Salvador has the mentality, I think, of I'm just going to win this set all by myself. And, you know, with the way that she's been going, she might have to get this set point, and she's serving right now for that set.
24-16. Salvador puts it up. Puts it across, fielded by Ava Pinuel. It is knocked over the net, just a free ball for West Plains, set up for Jakubik. She'll put it down, and that's the end of the third set as Victoria Jakubik picks up her 7th kill and the set win for West Plains at 25-16. So we're at 2-1. Mac still leads it, but we're headed to set number 4 coming up next. It's Mac Volleyball on KFMO.
What you need?
Turn this off.
Say it again, your mic was off.
Turn us back up. I'm getting ready to. We'll go after this.
Okay.
Back here at Mineral Area College, the officials are going back into their place. We've got 4 sanctioned officials here this afternoon. One of them we're familiar with here, Jackie Morris, who has done some color commentating for KFMO Radio. She is one of the sanctioned officials on the far side. Of course, a lot of folks know David Burke and his work with the area and a lot of athletes at Farmington. He was telling me about that Farmington football game last night, and he said he had more people in the trainer's room for the Knights last night than he had pretty much on the field because they just had injury after injury racking up. And I know some of their better players were suffering when you and I did a couple of games over there at Farmington. And he said apparently last night that really got to him, and Poplar Bluff just really took it to him. So the Knights ended their season last night.
Yeah, what was it, 42, 49 points that Poplar Bluff put up last night. It's kind of been the story all year with Farmington, have been those injuries. And unfortunately for the Knights, their season ended. But congrats to Poplar Bluff. The 6 seed prevails over the 3.
Listening to the PA announcer here, talking about the Lady Cardinals basketball team playing in a tournament, and they're up 32-8 right now. And they're looking pretty good early on. I think they're going to have themselves a really good team again this year. It's really excited to see the new coaching staff there. And I know a lot of the players are excited about having that coach as well. And I'm looking forward to doing some MAC girls and men's basketball coming up here. We've got a lot of spots on the floor they're trying to make sure are nice and dry. We kind of saw Dombrowski here last time jump up in the air. We were watching the shot because she went left-handed over the net. But she kind of lost her footing, and so did a couple of players on the opposite side as well on West Plains.
Well, it's been a competitive first few games here for sure. Don't let the point totals fool you. Yeah, West Plains won that one 25-16. Both teams are diving on the court all over the place for those volleyballs as well, and should see more here in the fourth set.
Here's Amaya Saxton with her first kill of the fourth set. It's her 5th kill overall, and Mac has a 1-0 lead. Mac up 2-1 right now, and serving up 1-0.
And Amaya Saxton that time getting the first point. We saw that, I believe, in 3 of the 5 sets. Amaya Saxton had the first point for either side. Well, and we'll see if that is the case here in the 4th set. And keep in mind, of Saxton's 3 sets that she had, 2 of them, Mac ended up winning those sets.
1-0 Mac right now. They serve. Back to serve is Diaz, and her serve is just a little too long. It's a service error. Out of bounds. We're tied at 1, our first tie of this game. We were tied 4 times in that 3rd set until a 6-0 run put West Plains up for good. We were tied 12 times in the 2nd set and only 2 times in the 1st set where Mac dominated with a 7-0 run. Here a 1-1 tie in this one in set number 3, and the serve over to the side set up for West Plains. Now here's Ava Pinuel. She kind of mishit the ball, so Gallardi has to get it up and over, and they get it up into the net. It's blocked at the net by Amaya Saxton. Down on the ground, 2-1 Mac.
Yeah, and Saxton's had a couple blocks in this one. Gallardi also on that one. Gallardi racked up the stats in the win last night, had a few blocks of her own. Hasn't got going, but I'm sure she'll take credit for that as well for Saxton.
2-1 Mac on top here in the set number 4. They're up 2-1. Here's the serve up and over. It's going to be returned by West Plains. It's tipped at the net by Mac, but served up to Ferrafino. She'll give it up to Shaw, who tries to get it up and over. It's blocked back into her, so they'll play it. Now West Plains with the hand to the left keeps it in play, and now a volley back across the net to Mac. Here's a little dink pass over the top by Ferrafino. Now she'll set it back up, give it up to Gallardi, and she'll put it on the ground. Gallardi with her 6th kill, and we haven't heard a lot from her in a while, but now she has started to jump up here in this last couple of sets.
Been very consistent, a couple kills in each of the first 2 sets, and that time, after a bit of chaos reigned in the initial few bump set spikes for both teams, it's Mac that gets a good set that time, able to bring it into Gilardi, gets her 6th kill on the board.
3-1 is the lead for Mac. 2-1 as Ava Pinuel serves it almost in a almost got to the net and over, and West Plains can't get it over as the little tip at the net by Victoria Antia goes into the net.
And I believe that was Gallardi on her first block that time. Her and Shaw contributing in that one.
So Gallardi is doing a lot of what she did last night, just coming here as of late. 4-1 Mac. Serve is over. Callie will play it. They'll get it back across. Ava Pinuel will send it to Ferrafino, who will set it up for Dambariski, who hits it close to the near side, out of bounds. 5-1 Mac. They've got the lead.
And Dambariski has slowly come into her own throughout the course of this one. Had some powerful serves, some impressive digs, and that time now 8 kills for Dambariski in this one.
8 kills for Dambariski. You've got Gallardi with 7 kills. Mac playing some ball here this afternoon. And another block at the net. We'll give that one to Shaw, I believe. She got up there and blocked that one. That is her 4th block of the night. 6-1, Mac is on top.
Coach Figueiredo talking to the near side official. Either maybe wants an explanation, and now we'll get a substitution. I thought maybe she was considering calling one of her 2 timeouts in this set, but instead putting in Savannah Cohen, who we haven't seen since the first set.
Savannah Cohen checks in. Checking out is Bakhfedorova. 6-1, Mac leads. They have a 2-1 lead. Could this be the final set? Long when they wanted her to let it go, but Callie played it anyway. They got it back in. West Plains will get it up over the net and return it and get the point. and break that streak of 5 points in a row for Mac, and that gives them a 6-2 score.
And it's Antia again coming up big. She's now got 9 kills in this one, and now has come through in a big way.
Isabella Cali from Medellin, Colombia. She is a freshman, 5'6". She's the libero, wears the gray uniform, and she'll get an ace on her serve as the ball goes over the top. It hits the floor, and Mac can't return it, 6-3.
And that time it was Penuel who didn't have the greatest first set. Trying to dive for it is the 6'3" Ghilardi, but even her wide width of range was not enough on that occasion.
Here's Ferrafino setting up to serve. Back to Ghilardi. Ghilardi will put it on the ground. 7 kills now. 7-2 is the score, back on top. 7-3 rather.
There were 2 West Plains girls that were both ready to bump, and when Ghilardi had that spike, they both went out of the way. And that was so impressive from Ghilardi, but also kind of have to wonder from Coach Figueiredo, like, hey, maybe get in the way. Maybe try to stop it any way you can.
7-3, a 4-point lead for Mac. Here's the serve, up and over by Ghilardi, and it's knocked out of bounds on the West Plains side. Mishit and knocked out, and it's an 8-3 lead for Mineral Area. We saw them get out to a big lead last night in that last set, that 5th set, and then kind of collapsed for a little bit. That wound up being an extra point type set. So I know Mac wants to keep this momentum going.
Yep. And that was a big thing. I would think they started, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0 in that 5th set. It was big.
Ghilardi serves it, line drive right over the top, and it's put down on the ground. Kill goes to Caitlin Alshire, and that stops another little run there. It is now 8-4.
And Alshire's been heavily involved with West Plains all afternoon, and they've set her up, whether that's been by that decoy play or in that occasion by just setting her up, and Alshire, for the most part, has been knocking it down.
Serving for West Plains is Bakvarova. She comes in, leaps in the air, puts it up over the net. It's fielded there by Ava Penuel. Penuel will set it up to Ferrafino, who gets it back to Penuel, or actually gets it back to Ghilardi. She'll hit it. It goes out of bounds. She hollered for it, thought it was going to be inbounds, but it's West Plains point, and they're back within 3 at 8-5.
They were celebrating, acting like Ghilardi had just gotten her 8th kill, but just a hair out of the back line is what the near side official on West Plains side had it.
Here comes Bakharova's serve. Ava Penuel will catch it, give it back to Ferrafino. Ferrafino to Ghilardi. Ghilardi gets it over the net. They'll send it back, and West Plains just gets it up in the air. Ferrafino trying to keep it up over the top as Shaw almost gets it on the ground. Ferrafino goes up to try to lay it down on a little dink pass there, but instead she kicks it back to her own side, and it goes out of bounds. It's a point for West Plains.
Coach Copeland talking to Ferrafino afterward, he's saying, hey, don't go crazy with it. Don't try to do a set dump automatically. Just set your teammates up on that occasion. It's the 3rd time we've seen that from Ferrafino. That time maybe didn't mean to push it back into the max sideline, but still, it hasn't worked out up to this point after Ferrafino had a couple dumps in the win last night.
So Bakharova will go back and serve again. She hits it right towards Ava Penuel. Ferrafino sets it up, gets it Dambariski. Dambariski hits it. It goes sideways, out, and finally just volleyed over by West Plains. Ferrafino now sets it up for Mac and Dambariski again. It's picked there on the back line by West Plains. They'll get it back, blocked at the net by Ferrafino. Brings it back now to West Plains. A little dink over the top, and Ferrafino's got it again to set it up. Ghilardi tries to kill it, but it goes into the net. And it's an 8-7 game, and West Plains has pulled back in with a 4-0 run to 1 point.
It feels like that Coach Copeland's talking to that front row. Again, it looks like he's talking to Ferrafino about that set. And all of a sudden, Glenn, it's been, that run has really energized West Plains bench. They're all standing cheering right now.
Here's another serve from Bakharova. 8-7, Mac on top. They're up 2-1. Long drive there by Dambariski, and now another spike and a kill, this time by Caitlin Alshire, and we are tied at 8 apiece. 5-0 run right now currently for West Plains to tie this one up. Remember, we were looking at an 8-3 game thinking, Mac's really got some momentum going, but right now, all that mo is on West Plains side.
And Bakharova, who's been serving, has been instrumental in this run as well.
She serves it. Ava Penuel digs it out of the ground. It's Ferrafino back to get it. Ghilardi puts it down on the ground. Wow, they needed that.
Yeah, and up a 5-0 run that time. West Plains getting ready to serve and take the lead, but you left the donut a little too vacated that time. And Gilardi, even in the middle rows, still finds a way to get her 8th kill, and Mac retains the lead.
Dudapasos checks back into the ball game. Diaz will sit down. Mac has a 9-8 lead. Dambariski will do the serving. She puts it up in the air. Line drive serves over the net. Fielded there by West Plains. They'll bring it to the opposite side. And on this side, there is a violation by Mac. West Plains point. 9-9.
Whatever the infraction is, it looks like the FAR official called it on Shaw. Now it's tied at 9.
She's not happy with herself. You can see the look on her face right now. She is a little mad at herself, but it's 9-9, and here comes West Plains to serve. Service is up and over. Ava Pinua barely keeps it alive, but they can't get it up over the net. And Dudapasos went down to try to kick it up and over. Got a lead change. First lead change of the game. It's 10-9, West Plains.
I would have stood up out of my chair if Dudapasos off the net tried to kick save that one somehow into West Plains net.
We saw one off the knee a couple of weeks ago. Here is a 50-50 ball put down on the ground. Bianca Salvador. That is 18 kills, and it's a 2-point lead for West Plains, who at one time trailed by as many as 5.
Yeah, there's a different energy going on at West Plains right now, and it's kind of similar to the energy we saw last night from Mac against Jefferson when they were in match point, which ironically happened in the 4th set.
Here comes the serve from West Plains once again. It's Victoria Antia, who's been really good. Dudapasos puts it down, but it's saved in the back by Callie. She'll send it back towards the front, and West Plains will just get it up and over. Here comes Pasos again. Long drive. Callie saves it again with a dig. They'll send it back towards the front. This time Salvador hits it into a block. It goes out of bounds, and another point for West Plains. They're up 12-9.
And that time it's Salvador again proving dividends, and now Coach Copeland calls his first timeout.
Timeout, Tim Copeland. Tony Irons, head coach of the MAC men's basketball team, in the auditorium right now, watching the Mineral Area College Lady Cardinals. Once up 8-3, now trail 12-9. We'll take a break. Back after this on KFMO. Set to go into this 4th set and maybe take a big lead and wind this one up, but West Plains happened. They're now up 12-9 and serving. Here is the ball up over the net, saved by Eva Penuel, brings it back to Gallardi, who'll get it up over the net. West Plains will return it. It's off of a block in the front, and they're giving the point to Mac, or are they saying a tip?
Well, now they're saying a tip. Initially, they gave the point to Mac because they said initially that Salvador missed the line, but then they ruled a tip. One judge overrules the other, gives a key point to West Plains, now up 13-9.
And the near side judge, talking to Belen Ferrafino, she's asking what happened on that because Mac is contending they did not tip it, but the far side judge said they did. So it's 13-9 West Plains. A block at the net puts West Plains up 14-9.
Alshire getting her first block. It felt like it was a matter of time for the 6'1 sophomore until she started getting in the block department.
We saw her in the last time these two teams met come into this game and play really, really well against Mac. Now setting it up for Dambariski. That one is off of a block, out of bounds, and Mac will finally break that streak. That was a 6-0 run after a 5-0 run. Got them back into this game. It is now 14-10. And you got to look at it if you're Mac. They had a 5-0 run, did West Plains. They had a 6-0 run, but you're only down 4 points. You got to come after them right now.
And how do they do that? They bring in Olivia Shaw to get some key serves right here. She's looking for her first ace in this one. She's had a couple good serves when she has been serving, and now down 4 will try to prove key here.
Here's a line drive by Olivia Shaw. It's fielded by West Plains, and to bring it back as trying to get it up over the net on the spike. Finally, it's Mack returning it. It'll be Callie getting it over, a little dish over the top of the net by Mariana Franco. And West Plains is back up by 5, 15-10.
You know, Franco has been the main setter in this one for West Plains, and that's not the first time she's tried to do a setter dump. Does a good job of thinking for Mack for a second that she's going to set that up for one of the good killers for West Plains, and then ultimately sees the donut available kind of out of the corner of her eye and gets another kill.
Jakovic and Salvador talking it over before that serve comes in by Alshire. It's returned by Mack, now set up high and blocked at the net, and West Plains keeps it alive. Here's Alshire just getting it over the net. It's fielded there by Dambariski. She'll send it to the front, and Saxton puts it down on the ground. Ball was tipped at the net, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Mack point, 15-11.
And immediately you could see the Mack cheering section on the far side say that ball was tipped. Far side official had the same idea, gives an important point to Mack, and now Ferrafino comes in for a chance.
Patty Figueiredo, the head coach of West Plains, was questioning that call, but across the way, the main official holds her fingers up and says it was tipped, and that's why Mack got the point. Here's Ferrafino's serve. It's up and over. West Plains will try to return it. Jakovic just dunks it over the top. Now Duda Pasos will get it back up and over. It's Jakovic again going to the right side, putting it in the corner on the ground. She's got another kill. I got her down for 8, and the lead is 16-11 for West Plains.
Jakovic, it feels like every time she's got a kill, almost falls to midcourt in celebration after each time.
She is absolutely on fire here this afternoon. I just now noticed, I haven't even noticed this today, she's wearing a pretty heavy knee brace on that left knee, but she is very, very active at the net here today, and she is pivoting on that knee, talking to her teammates and getting everything set up. So you got Jakovic up front, you've got Salvador, and you've also got, looks like Bozarova on an ace, served by West Plains, 17-11. Wow. That was a line drive that time by Mariano Franco, her second ace. Mack just stood and watched it hit the ground.
And both setters have been very impressive for both sides here today. Ferrafino and Franco, each of them have 2 aces.
Here's Franco, another serve, up and over. It's met there. Finally, Ferrafino will get it up in the air, and Mack will play a 50-50 ball. Put down on the ground by Saxton. Amaya Saxton with her 6th kill, and it's 17-12. Boy, Mack needs to make a run here. They've had 2 runs by West Plains, a 5-0 and a 6-0 run in this third set, and they're still relatively in the game, but we're getting late, 17-12. Mack needs to get up there in the upper double digits of the teams as well. Diaz will come in to serve. That means Duda Pasos has the seat. Here comes Diaz. Up and over. Fielded there by West Plains. Set up in the front. Off of a block. It goes straight up in the air, and Mack will play it. Here's Bella Ferrafino. She'll get it up to the top. It's blocked right at the net by Bakhtarova. That will be her first block of the day. And the point goes to West Plains, 18-12.
After that last one, Bakhtarova got a hug from Jakovic, almost as if to, because Jakovic was a bit out of position, almost moving behind her, gives her a hug as if to say, thanks for stealing the spotlight, getting another big point for West Plains.
18-12, they're hollering out instructions as the serve comes up and over. Ferrafino will make the save as it just about went out of bounds for Mack, but she'll get it back to the center. Now they set it up to Jakovic. Jakovic goes up for the spike. It's blocked by Saxton. Now Jakovic will get it back over. Here comes Mack with Gallardi. That's tipped off the top, goes to the back, but West Plains will save it. They get it back over to the top, and a spike is down by Victoria Antia. That's her 10th kill. It's 19-12 West Plains.
And during the course of this run, as we get a timeout from Coach Copeland, it has been Antia that has been a big factor. Now she's got 10 kills.
And that's the thing about this West Plains team. You think, oh, we've contained this one, we've contained that one, or this one's not having a good day, and all of a sudden Antia jumps up. We'll take a break. It's 19-12. West Plains on top in the 4th set. However, Mack leads 2-1. Can they come back and win the 4th set, or are we going 5? We'll take a break. It's Mack Volleyball on KFMO. All right, you can bring it back after this. Your Farnborough timeout brought to you by those two agents as well. Here is Saxton trying to dink it over the top as West Plains plays it. Now it's a little block there at the net, goes down. West Plains again trying to get it up and over, but that would be 4. So the point goes back to Mac. It's 19-13. And Mac is still playing very effectively at the net. But right now, West Plains is really hot on the kills.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Mac to come back in this one, it's really going to come down to how aggressive they are at the net. And that time they force West Plains to scramble a little bit, just dumps it down for the point.
19-13. The serve by Mac is up and over, set up in the front. Blocked at the net by Diaz. Or not by Diaz, by number 8. That would be Olivia Shaw. That is 5 blocks for Olivia Shaw, and it's 19-14. Does Mac have a run in them?
If they do that, it's also going to be being aggressive at the net. And how do they do that? Well, Olivia Shaw had 5 blocks in the win last night, has as many here tonight.
We had Ava Pinuel serving in that big comeback in the 4th set the other night. She's doing that thing right now, and she gets an ace off of that one. 19-15. Ava Pinuel stands back there, serves the ball, does a good job, and a timeout called. I'll finish that thought. We'll take a timeout. But she serves the ball, and you don't think there's much going with it, but it's kind of a knuckleball coming across that net, and it's hard to receive and serve it back or give it back to the opposite side. We'll come back on the opposite side of this, talk more about this. It's Mac Volleyball on KFMO.
Want to earn a transfer degree or need training to jumpstart your career? Mineral Area College is the place for you. MAC offers affordable tuition, dedicated instructors, vibrant campus life, and flexible classes, on campus and online. When you're at MAC, you can find a future. You can find a community. You can even find yourself. Apply online at mineralarea.edu.
Missouri State University at West Plains leads this 4th set. Mac leads in sets, 2-1. They won the first 2 sets, 25-19, 25-22. But the 3rd set was all West Plains, and they've come back in this one. Here's a little dink over the top. Mac will come and get it. Diaz was going for it, but it did not make it to her, and that one will give credit, I guess, to Jakovic.
And Jakovic using her height again for another 3-finger tip over the net. So out of the first timeout called, Mac went on a bit of a run, and now West Plains calls their timeout, and now they're in the red zone.
And she's got a little hang time over there, too. That's what's cool about Jakovic. She kind of gets up there and looks around. Here's Dambariski blocked at the net, trying to get it down on the floor. So Ferrafino will set it back up. It's tipped as it goes through from Gallardi. Brought over to the near side, hit down and up in the air by Mac. Mac will play it as Dambariski gets it back up over the net. They set it up in the front. It's blocked at the net by Shaw, number 6. And it's a 4-point game at 20-16. Shaw has been wonderful at the net here in these last 2 sets, blocking 6 total so far.
Yeah, I was waiting for the officials. They were talking about it for a little bit, but it stayed on the line. Olivia Shaw, 6 blocks in this one, leads all players.
Shaw, Ferrafino, and Dambariski down front. Here's the serve from Gallardi. It's up and over, almost hits the ground. It's set up for West Plains, and a long corner shot for guess who? Number 13, Victoria Antia. Number 11 on the kills, and it's 21-16 West Plains.
Looks like Gilardi that time a bit frustrated because she saw another wet spot on the court. We've seen that a few times in this one. Both teams cleaning up the spots, and that time, I've been so impressed with Antia in this one. The freshman stepping up and delivering the big kills and big spots.
Yeah, she's gaining more and more confidence as she goes, and we're excited about Dan Bariski at Mineral Area College. They got to be excited about a lot of their freshmen. Here's the serve. It's up and over. Ferrafino will get it to Gilardi. Gilardi will get it over, and then it's knocked over the top of the net and down by Caitlin Alshire. It's 22-16. 22-16. You can hear the girls on the West Plains side, which is the coaching side next to us. We could be headed for another 5th set here in just a few. Here is the serve by Bakvarova. It is up in the air. Mack just gets it across. They told Callie to let it go, but she plays it. It's blocked at the net by Mack. They'll set it back up on the West Plains side. They're trying to get 2 players collide. Down on the ground, 2 players crossed over the line. And that will be a Mack point, 22-17. So it's not over yet.
Yeah, I got it. 4 hits that time. Never went over the net on the 3rd hit that time. The Crutcher West Plains, they tried to play it off, but even so, 22-17. Not out of the question for Mack. You'll recall, what was it, a 5-6-7-0 run at one point in the game last night.
Mariano Franco and Caitlin Alshire got tangled up there at the line. Here's the serve by Mack. It's blocked at the net by Duna Pasos. It goes down on the ground, and Mack is pulled within 22-18, down 4. They've still got time to do it.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do it from Pasos' blocking. Like we said, didn't have a block in the win last night, but she has a good vertical to her, and that time has had a couple blocks and has provided that energy. Not over yet for Mack in the 4th set.
Belen Ferrafino on the front line. Eyeballing the West Plains ladies as Gilardi serves. It's put up. It's blocked at the net there by Shaw. Brought back on the West Plains side. Goes up for a block and a kill, and it's down on the ground as Ava Pinuel just couldn't get to it. And again, it's Victoria Antia putting it down 23-18.
12 kills, and it feels like each one of them have been so important for West Plains en route to this comeback. The freshman Antia proving to be a big difference here and has served very well to boot.
Mariano Franco getting some last-minute instructions from her coach, Patty Figueiredo. And the serve is up and over. Mack has got to try to get it back over, and they will not. 24-18 set point coming up for West Plains. We could be heading to 5.
And if this goes to 5, this would mark 10 sets played for the Mineral Area College Lady Cardinals within a span of less than 24 hours.
Here is a serve up and over the net. Belen Ferrafino gets it up. It's into the antenna, out of bounds, and that is your game. 25-19. West Plains takes set number 4. We are going to play set 5 coming up next. The first to 15 by 2 will win this match. And I said before, and I didn't think that it would go this way, but I said I think if Mack wins this today, it's in 5 sets because that's how good West Plains is. And it turned out that way because Mack won the first 2 sets, and then West Plains was just way too much in sets 4 and also set 3 as well. Set 5 is coming up. It's college volleyball on KFMO. All right, bring it back after this. And that's a long ad. Five sets of volleyball on Friday night. 5 sets of volleyball on a Saturday afternoon. We're coming up on 2 o'clock at KFMO Park Hills. We're getting ready for more volleyball action at 3 o'clock on KFMO. That'll be Farmington at St. Pius. As soon as this one is over, we'll send you there. We've got Connor Harbert in Farmington, or actually in St. Pius, doing that game on AM 1240 KFMO and the KFMO Sports app. You can get the KFMO app and listen to that game anywhere, even at the game. And then Cape Notre Dame St. Louis will be at Potosi at 3 p.m. on KFMO Sports Plus with Jared Pettis. He'll be making that call on KFMO Sports Plus. Go to KFMOsports.com, click on the plus. Here we go, set number 5. Starts off with a Duda Pasos kill, and Mac is up 1-0.
So Duda Pasos has been the beneficiary of a few of the opening points that we've seen throughout this one. We mentioned a little bit about Saxton. She got the opening point in the last set, but for the most part, it's been Pasos attacking early and often. She's going to need to attack a lot here in this 5th set.
Well, that last set was all about runs. The first run was a 5-0 run by Mac, and then a 5-0 run by West Plains, and then a 6-0 run by West Plains. As the ball is served, it's up and over. Maxwell Ferrafino serves it up. It's killed on the other side, but caught there by Callie. Callie will hit it on a block, out of bounds, off of Mac. It's 1-1. We're tied.
It's off Bianca Salvador, making it at even 20 kills now for Salvador in this one.
We've had an odd number of ties in this game. 2 in the first, 12 in the second, 4 in the third, 2 more in set 4. Lead changes, 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Mac tied up right now, 1-1, our first tie of this set. Here's a little dink over the top, almost knocked into the net. Somehow they get it up and over on the West Plains side. Now back as Amaya Sexton tries to put it down, but Callie is there. Here comes the other side. Left side, Antilla will put it down, and it's a point for West Plains, 2-1.
And you talk about the tremendous digging we've seen out of both teams in this one. That was incredible. The pump set spike must have happened in less than a second, and the one leading up to that kill from Antilla, which is her 13th.
13th kill for Antilla, and that spot in that corner is where she is finding it almost every single time. Here's a long serve that Ava Pinuel gets it into play, and then Mac just volleys it over the top. They'll set it up front for Jakobek, who'll go to the right corner, and she'll put it down. Jakobek seems like she has 20, but she has 10 of those, and West Plains is up 3-1.
So now you get to the point each team still has 2 timeouts, even in a set played to 15. I wonder at one point we'll see either of those coaches, whether it's Coach Copeland of Mac or Coach Figueredo of West Plains, take those timeouts.
West Plains coaching staff and players acting as cheerleaders on the sidelines. Here is Dambariski hitting it in and over the net, right into the arms of a couple of players from West Plains. Bakhsharova could not handle it, and the kill goes to Dambariski, and it's a point for Mineral Area, 3-2. West Plains still on top, at Mac serving with Ava Pinuel.
Feels like everybody's got double digits now. Dambariski now has 10.
Here's the serve from Pinuel. It's long. It may have went out of bounds, but Callie will play it. They'll get it back to the line. A nice dig that time by Pinuel as she went after it over there. Dambariski tries to put it on the floor, but it's played there by Callie. Here comes back West Plains, up and over. Ava Pinuel will set it up. Now they'll get it to Gallardi. She'll go up for the kill. Back to Ferrafino. Back to number 8. That is Shaw, and she'll put it on the ground. And it's a 3-3 game, and we are tied for the second time.
Another wet spot potentially on the court. Coach Figueredo talking to the near side judge about something.
Figueredo is really upset. She is looking at the official on the far side. She thought she was over the line, and she said something. She said, "I'm watching," and the official said, "Yeah, and I'm watching too." Here's the serve from Mac, 3-3 as the return is put up and over. Now Mac will try to get it back with Dambariski goes for it. It is played in the backcourt. Now picked up by West Plains and up and over. Here comes Ferrafino. She'll give it up to Gallardi. It's blocked at the net, straight up in the air, and West Plains will play it. They'll get it back now to Jakobek. She'll get it up and over. They're volleying heavy here as Dambariski is blocked at the net. 3 hits as it goes up into the net and back over. Here comes West Plains. They're going after it. Somebody diving on the ground just to get it up and over. A free ball for Mac. Gallardi will try to put it down, but it's blocked again. These two teams playing hard at the net, and a ball that just somehow got out of the area where Mack was standing. Jakovic picks up the kill, and it's 4-3 West Plains. Wow.
Yeah, and after that last one, Jakovic needed a bit of an extra second to get up, and Coach Figueredo asked her, is she all right? Jakovic said simply, I'm fine.
Mariano Franco has done a fantastic job setting up the line for West Plains, and she did so again that time. Gallardi trying to get it down, but it's picked up there. Franco sets it up. A spike goes down by Alshire. It's blocked back across the other side, and it's 5-3. I told my brother I would probably be a little hoarse tonight as we have to go somewhere to sing, and I don't think I'll be nearly as hoarse as about 4 of the players on West Plains, including Antia and a couple of others that are on the floor right now. Here's the serve by Callie for West Plains. It's 5-3 Grizzlies. They get it over to Dambariski. She tries to dunk it over, but it doesn't work. Here's Bella Ferrafino. She gets it over the top. The West Plains coach hollering, saying she picked that ball up. Got up underneath it, but no call. 5-4. Max got the serve.
And meanwhile, Bella Ferrafino is breathing a sigh of relief. She's been looking for that set up all afternoon. Finally got one at a key time for Mac.
Dambariski along with Shaw and Ferrafino on the front line, standing kind of in an I formation as the serve by Gallardi gets up and over. It's set up by Franco. Franco gives it right side, but out of bounds. No! Inbounds. I thought that one was way out, but it's inbounds on the far side. Head official called it 6-4 West Plains.
And Antia found that corner again, that time near side near the net, cross court. Very impressive from Antia, now with 14 kills.
You know, and the other thing that's impressive, it seems like that, again, hang time. They're up in the air, and it's like they can look and see where they're headed to. Here's Ferrafino setting up Dambariski. It's blocked at the net. Back on the ground, 7-4 West Plains.
Now Franco getting in on the blocking action. It's her first. You know, West Plains has 6 blocks as a team. Shaw has 6 blocks by herself, but it feels like West Plains has had at least one block in every point.
West Plains is almost halfway there. 7-4. Set 5. Here's the serve by Batsarova. It is long and out, so a service error by Batsarova is what Mac needed to stop the bleeding. It's 7-5.
Let's keep an eye out on this one, Glenn, because after this next point, both teams are going to change sides.
Duda Pasos comes in, and Marilia Diaz says something to her. The 5'5 sophomore talking to the 5'11 freshman. Here's Dambariski's serve. It's up and over. It's going to be returned, set up by Franco. A little dink on the right side this time by Caitlin Alshire. And it's a 8-5 lead for West Plains. And they're going to switch sides.
And now Alshire has double-digit kills as well. She's now got 10.
I tell you what, we've got a couple of teams right here playing at the top of their game. I got to wonder, does playing 5 sets 2 days in a row kind of wear on you just a bit as this MAC ball club switches sides from one side to the other? Seems to be a lot more life and activity on the West Plains side right now. Let's see if MAC can answer it. Down 3, 8-5.
Well, one thing I'm sure that the MAC team prides themselves on is conditioning, and they're getting a workout here in their 10th set, and not just that, under 24 hours now.
Antia serves it. Ava Pinuel plays it. They'll get it to Shaw. Shaw will get it up over the net. Now Franco will set it up for number 3, Bianca Salvador, but it's blocked at the net. Is that Ferrafino?
That's Ferrafino, who's first one up there, the tallest one up on that occasion. Shaw tried to get the block, but Ferrafino had better positioning, gets her second block.
Mac will not go away, down by 2, 8-6. Tied at 2 apiece set-wise. Here's a line drive serve by Shaw. She'll come up into the play. Now the ball knocked into the corner there by Salvador. And you thought maybe that Shaw could get to it, but I think she was leaning the wrong way. It hits the ground, 9-6 West Plains.
And Shaw was on her back foot a little bit, and it left the donut vacated for a split second. And the way Salvador's been hitting them, she sees a donut, she'll take advantage of it.
Dambariski talking to Duda Pasos as the serve comes over, and Dambariski will get it. Here's Ferrafino setting it up for Amaya Saxton. And the ball falls in between Pasos and Dambariski, 10-6. 5 points away from a 5-set victory for West Plains. As the ball was hit up into the air, it got over close to the scorer's table, and 2 MAC players went after it, but neither one played it. Tied at 2 sets apiece. West Plains with a 4-point lead at 10-6. Here comes the serve from Alshire. Passos will set it up for Bella Ferrafino. Back to Duda Passos. Hits off the top of the net, out of bounds. She wants a tip, but she's not going to get it. It's 11-6 West Plains.
Utah MAC Cardinals are talking to each other right now, and here comes the timeout from Coach Copeland.
She wanted a tip on the Duda Passos spike, but I think the only thing it tipped was the net. It went down into the corner, out of bounds, and it's 11-6. West Plains is 4 points away from a 3-set comeback after trailing 2-0. MAC won the first 2, 25-19, 25-22, but then a very dominant third set for West Plains, winning that 25-16. A back and forth affair for a while in that fourth set. MAC got off to a really good start, and then West Plains roared back not once but twice, and MAC just could not catch him. 25-19 was the final in that set. And now here we stand at 11-6. For MAC to win this one, they're going to have to come back and get the next 9 points before West Plains can get 4.
And you almost wonder how much that Jefferson game started to take out of this. I mean, we've been talking about the 10 sets that they played in less than 24 hours, but you can tell there's a little bit of talking, there's a little bit of communicating that MAC needs to do. Even before the timeout, they were looking at each other like, hey, who's got that volleyball? Might have been why Coach Copeland took the timeout in this key spot.
Caitlin Alshire, she gets the serve. She puts it over. Ferrafino sets it up for Duda Passos. It's blocked off of the hands of West Plains, and down. It is a point for MAC, 11-7. That's a start for Mineral Area as they serve now, and it looks like Ferrafino is going to serve.
You know, they may be a little low on energy right now, but you know one person who isn't on that team? It's Duda Passos.
Passos has always been very high energy, even with that hand. It just looks like it keeps getting more bandages. I think we got more fingers bandaged up now than we did when the game started.
Almost looks like a club at this point.
Yeah. Like I said, in that, second set?
Yeah.
Looks like a lineman in the NFL. Here's Ferrafino with the serve. It's up. It's fielded by Kelly. About to Franco. Franco gets it to Jakovic. She'll dump it over. It's off of MAC, out of bounds. 12-7 West Plains. 3 points away from this 5-set victory.
When you think about this, Glenn, 4 players for West Plains right now in double figures in kills.
Here is Franco to serve. She'll put it up and over. She's had an ace in this game. This one fielded by Mac. Ferrafino gets it over to Gallardi. She knocks it out of bounds. Hit it 13-7, and Mac needs a run and needs it now. 13-7, tied at 2 sets apiece. West Plains serving. It's Franco to serve. She's had 2 aces in this match. She serves it. Line drive. There's another one off of Duda Passos. 14-7. We're at set and match point here for West Plains. And I got to tell you, I think when Duda Passos is in there, they target her because of her hands, thinking that she has not as much opportunity to return it due to that injury. 14-7, fielded by Eva Penuel. Give it to Ferrafino, back to Duda Passos. She'll get it up over the net. It's tipped off of 2 players to the ground, so Passos keeps them alive. And it looks like a 14-8 score. Well, we saw Mac come back at a set point last night. In fact, at match point last night. I think they were down 24-18 at that time. They came back and won it 27-25. Diaz will serve. It's up and over. Set up in the front by Franco. Jakovic blocks it. It's blocked off of Gallardi, out of bounds. That is game, set, and match for this West Plains Grizzlies team. They won it in 5 sets. 19-25, 22-25, 25-16, 25-19, 15-8. We're going to do some stats, come back and talk it over with Tim Copeland, head coach of the Mineral Area College Lady Cardinals, after this on the Hubs Pub and Grill postgame show. Coming up next on KFMO. All right, so Connor is who will be thrown it to.
Okay.
Congratulations to Mineral Area College and Missouri State West Plains for playing in a fantastic 5-set match today in the Region 16 Championship. At this time, we'll announce the Region 16 all-region teams. We'll start with the second team. Second team, Region 16, starts with Gibson Beckler from West Plains.
All right, you can bring it back after this. 15-8 final score in the fifth set as we get ready for the Pub and Grill post-game show. We're going to talk it over hopefully here in a bit with Tim Copeland, who is the head coach of the Mineral Area College Lady Cardinals. But right now they're giving out the first and second teams, all tournament teams here. Olivia Shaw, one of the all-tournament players on the first team. A couple of West Plains players I'm sure will be on there as well. A couple of Jefferson players on the region team as well. You know, we look at this match. The first two sets, I think Mac played as well as they possibly could. I think West Plains played well, and I think they made a few mistakes. But things did not go the way they wanted them to in that third and fourth set. And by the fifth set, I think West Plains just absolutely had a wonderful fifth set and did everything right.
Yeah, they certainly did, and I think part of that was down to, I mean, we talked about it in the pregame show, Glenn, but it was a team effort by West Plains throughout the course of the night. We talked about the fact that 4 players finished in double digits in kills right now, but you have that opportunity to get those aces down the stretch, and you also had the blocking showed up for them in those third, those fourth, those fifth sets. Really felt like West Plains was on their game. There's a reason they're now 32-5.
Yep, they're a very, very good team. Gabriella Domboriski, also Olivia Shaw named to the first team. Gallardi is named to the first team as well from West County. I knew I'd go through the whole day without saying West County, and I got to the end and I did. West Plains, Alshire is named to that team as well. And Bianca Salvador. And she's named Player of the Year as well for Region 16 this year. So that is a heck of a team that is going on over there at West Plains. And Mac gave them all they wanted here this afternoon. Let's look at some of the stats from this game. First of all, 2 ties in the first set, 1 lead change. 12 ties in the second set, 3 lead changes. 4 ties in the third, 3 lead changes. 2 ties in the fourth, 1 lead change. And only 2 ties in the set 5. And that came at 3-3 and 4-4. After that, a little bit of a run for West Plains, and they got out in front and just held on to it. But Mac absolutely does not have anything to hang their head about here today because this was an excellent game played by both sides. And I think Tim Copeland's going to look at a few things and say, you know what, I wish we could have done this better. I wish we'd have played this better, this way better, whatever. But there's a lot of good things about this match here today for his Mac Cardinals.
There's a lot to take away from, 2 games that were as competitive as the ones that we've called over the last 24 hours. But I'm sure that Coach Copeland will have a lot to say. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. His 20th year coaching for the Mac Cardinals. And ultimately, this is kind of, in a way, you reminisce of the MAAA tournament that was not too long ago for volleyball. And it's kind of that way for this Region 16 tournament because it's a quick turnaround between this region tournament and when the districts begin and when all those tournaments begin. That count, that matter for your season. And so while this game doesn't mean much as far as the long-term season goes, it's an idea of where you are not only for Mac in this situation, but also against a good West Plains team that you took to 5 sets. You didn't take them to a straight set loss in the last time you played them. And they played Some of it may have been fumes that they had from the Jefferson game last night. Some of it may have been from just adapting to his strategy. It's a bit of both, I'm sure. But ultimately, there's a lot to take away from Coach Copeland. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say to his team in this one.
Well, we're going to try to get Coach Copeland out in the air before we go to high school volleyball action, which is coming up over in Farmington, or actually at St. Pius. Farmington at St. Pius is scheduled to start at 3 o'clock. At about 2:30, we're going to switch over to Connor Harbit, who will be doing that game from St. Pius. And that can be heard right here on KFMO and, of course, on the KFMO app on your smartphone or computer. And you can also go to KFMO Sports Plus to hear Cape Notre Dame St. Louis at Potosi with Jared Pettis. That's at KFMOsports.com. You click on the plus sign, and that will take you to KFMO Sports Plus. And now West Plains will run around with the Region 16 Championship trophy as they run around the floor at MAC. And I think if you look at some of the freshmen sitting here on the MAC side, they see this and they say, you know what? We'd like to take them down maybe sometime later in districts. And next time we do this, we'd like to be able to ones running around the arena here this afternoon instead of the opposite team.
Well, for sure, and you think about their sophomores as well. I mean, there's a lot of freshmen, there's a lot of sophomores on this team, but they have that feeling. They don't want to be on the sidelines seeing other teams getting those championships. But if you're the sophomores for West Plains, you also got to think this is a time where we can celebrate, but it's off to the rest of your regular season, it's off to the rest of the tournaments. But there's two very different feelings going on both sides right now, and I'm sure that both teams will have a lot to think about over the course of time.
We're going to try to talk it over with Coach Copeland here. He's got a few things he's got to take care of, and then we'll hopefully get a chance to talk to him here in just a second if he's available, and then we'll get things going here as we head towards high school volleyball action coming up here in just a bit. So also Winona is playing at Bismarck this afternoon. We do not have live coverage of that game, but we have spotters over there that will keep us posted on that game. That Winona team is a heck of a team. I've been told by several people in the state that that's one of the better teams in the state, so Bismarck will have their hands full. But me and Connor Harbit did a game with Bismarck last week, and Ashley Hawkins and company are going to be hard to knock down as well because they've got quite a bit of talent over there. I think it's a matter of Bismarck playing their best game if they possibly can this afternoon against a team like Winona. So let's take a time out. When we come back, we'll try to wrap things up here and send it out to Connor Harbit, who's doing that game at St. Pius. Farmington at St. Pius, and then Cape Notre Dame at Potosi on KFMO Sports Plus due to start any time as well. So we can do that, take a time out, and come back here in a moment. You're listening to MAC Volleyball on KFMO. All right, send it back after this, please. Back going to be talking it over with Tim Copeland, head coach of the Mineral Area College Lady Cardinals. And, Coach, that was a very good game to watch, a tough game to lose. How are you feeling after a game like that?
Well, I felt like we played really well at the beginning, kind of like last night, first game, second game. And it's a really good team, so they're not going to, lay over and let you just beat them. And then the second game we had 11 mistakes. The first two we only had 5 and 6. So, you stay under 10, under 10 errors, 10 mistakes, usually win. First two games we did. Second game we had 11 and 12 in third and fourth game. So, you can't have letdowns like that against a good team and expect to win, or at least expect to be at the end, have an opportunity to win. So pretty much I think we just kind of, I don't know if we got a little tight there after we won the first two and then lost the next one and so on. But, it's volleyball. You have runs, you have stuff, and we made too many mistakes in second or third and fourth game to win it.
Now, your ball club played 5 sets last night. They played 5 sets today. I know they're well-conditioned and everything, but could they have possibly had a little fatigue coming down that stretch in the 4th and 5th set?
Nah, that's no excuse. We just made too many mistakes mentally. It wasn't physical. I think it was more mental of, not talking, balls dropping, or, they're a good team. We made some mistakes on blocking, stuff like that, but they're a good team hitting. They made mistakes against us. But, the balls that drop and the ball that, doesn't get two hands on because we're not moving our feet, that kind of stuff is the biggest reason why we lost those games.
A lot of good things about this game as well, though. But you had those first two games were played probably about as good as you could play them. Yeah. And when they got ahead in that third set, I felt like, okay, we're going to 4. Hopefully they can get that run. And you got that run early in that fourth set, but then they came back with 2, and that really was kind of the story of that set.
Yeah, we got the run in the fourth set, but we also about 15 points in, we kind of started that dumbness, where you just make mental errors and don't talk, and two people look at each other and they drop, and the things that create momentum for them and distress for you. So we just got to figure out a way to have to go 5 games. We have to go 5 games, but play 3 for sure. Good ones like the first 2.
Now, you watch these guys come out here and celebrate this afternoon on your court. Does that give your girls some inspiration, some fight for the next time you guys get together to hopefully come out on top? Because you can play with this team, and you can. Just got to put it all together.
Yeah, it's a year away. It's whatever. Them coming around, getting in front of us is kind of disrespectful. I'm going to talk to her a little bit, too. It's kind of dumb. But, that's what they want to do. So if that's how they want to play it, we'll figure that out later next year.
Okay. Well, Coach, we appreciate you. I know you got some things to do with your team, and we've got volleyball action coming up on the high school side. What you got coming up next, and tell us about that, and then we'll let you
go. Districts is next Friday and Saturday. We don't know who we play or where it's at yet because they're finishing up today just like us. So, but we'll leave out Thursday and play next Friday and Saturday. And, if we win districts, go back to nationals. So got to win 3 games and go.
All right. Well, Coach, hopefully you'll do that, and we'll see you again real soon.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Tim Copeland, head coach of the Mac Cardinals here. His team this afternoon loses it in 5 sets. First 2 sets were great. 3rd, 4th, and 5th didn't go his way or the team's way, but this is a situation where the games were very entertaining to watch. Last night, tonight, it was all entertaining to watch, and it looks like it's going to be another entertaining postseason for MAC volleyball fans here. That's a very good West Plains team out there taking pictures on the floor, and they came back and they really earned this victory here this afternoon. But as Coach Copeland said, he believes they can play a little better.
Yeah, he believes that as well, and I'm sure he's got a lot to take away from this one. You saw it throughout the course of time. The differences between the first and second set, the third and fourth and fifth sets, that's something that's going to be talked about. Like you said, districts are next week. So there's a little bit of time for you to practice, to get your rest, get your energy going, and then it's off to districts. And boy, that blood just pumps a little bit faster during that time where your season, and in some people's case, their career at MAC, it's on the line here in this one. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot to take in each and every practice, each and every hour leading up to districts next week.
Keep your eye on KFMOsports.com and the KFMO Sports schedule there, and we'll tell you where MAC will wind up next week on Thursday and Friday. We'll find out a little bit later on. And also, don't forget, volleyball, Cape Notre Dame at Potosi is on KFMO Sports, KFMO Sports Plus. Go to KFMOsports.com, click on the plus sign, and then the Farmington St. Pius game is on AM 1240 KFMO coming up next with Connor Harbit. We're going to send it to Connor after this break. This has been the Hubs Pub and Grill post-game show. Again, MAC loses it in 5 sets, 25-19, 25-22. Then West Plains on top, 25-16, 19, and 15-8 in the 5th set. For Connor, well, not for Connor because he's in the other place. For Joey Palermo, for J.C. Allen back at the studio. Did a great job on the